What? Again, let me just repeat. Video about the Israeli apartheid, which Israel and America don't want to see. The Hannibal Directive explained.
The Hannibal Directive was something that was developed in the 1980s by the Israelis to avoid situations where their enemies would capture 1 or 2 or 3 Israeli soldiers and then effectively hold them to ransom. An order was issued whereby they said it's better that we kill everyone than allow people to be captured. At midday on October the 7th, it's reported the army revived the Hannibal Directive and applied it to civilians by Apache helicopter pilots, by anti-terrorism police units, and by the army as they entered the kibbutzes. You just have to look at the scale of the destruction.
Because
it's clear that
you can clearly see the kibbutzes were fucking shelled, dude. They were shelled. Well, there's fucking fragment marks after it. There's tank marks on the fucking roads and the lawn.
1,200 men armed with rocket-propelled grenades and machine guns did not do all of this. It's pretty clear that in the chaos, hostages.
And then, like we see, there's shit ton of videos from the Apache helicopter shooting at civilians, and the pilots of both the helicopters and the tanks have admitted this, right? That they were just shooting at everyone, including civilians.
Were hit by Apache helicopter fire. Within the kibbutzes, we've identified 18 people who were pretty much certainly killed.
There's also testimonies from Jews from the kibbutzes saying that the tanks were killing children. Israeli children, right? They were screaming in the house, and then there's 2 tank shells that arrived and they stopped screaming.
By the police and the army as they arrived. 12 of them a specific incident in kibbutz Be'eri, where you have a large number of gunmen, around 40 gunmen, holed up in a house with 13 hostages. A tank
that's the tank, dude.
And opens fire on the house. What's extraordinary is the Israelis were aware of the plans. Hamas were actually training quite openly for this operation, and they were actually placing the training videos online on the very night of October the 7th.
These training videos I have only seen being exposed after October 7th, not before. Right? But I wasn't paying attention to them before, so it might very well be that they were not. I just didn't see them, right? But I haven't seen any Hamas October 7th preparation videos that was released before October 7th. But maybe Seagaft has. We can ask him when he comes.
7th, before dawn, spotters along the fence are reporting back to headquarters, and the head of Shin Bet and the head of military intelligence take this seriously enough that in the middle of the night they're up and talking to each other. They conclude it's just another training exercise. They don't even raise the alert level to number 1, you know, the most basic alert level that have made a huge difference. And they don't do that, which means that when Hamas bursts through the fence at 6,
probably didn't do that because they didn't expect anything, dude. Well, they didn't expect anything. They're becoming too lazy and lenient that that Gaza would not do anything outside of Gaza. Yes, we should, Shunt. Yes, we should. The question is just where, stuff like that, you know?
30 in the morning. They catch many of the defenders in their beds. I mean, you can...
So remember, this is a video from where the Hamas soldiers actually enter military bases, and not only military bases, but also police stations. Nothing like the Norway Music Festival.
You can see many of the soldiers are killed in their beds. Hamas had anticipated most of their fighters would be killed trying to get through the fence. In fact, only a small number were killed trying to get through the fence. They were as much taken by surprise as anyone by the performance of Israeli intelligence and the Israeli military. Crucially, also, they were taken by surprise by this very large music festival that was taking place, which they don't seem to have been aware of. Having overrun the military bases, the game plan was to grab hostages and take them back. And they do this on a large scale, but they
wanted to grab the hostages and take them back because Israel has a shit ton of hostages, and they wanted to have something for exchanges. Right? That was the motive behind October 7th.
Also clearly kill very large numbers of unarmed civilians as well. The peculiarity of the days after October 7.
We don't see any videos of Hamas killing a huge amount of unarmed civilians. We don't see any videos of that. There's many unarmed civilians that died, yes. We don't know how they died. There's videos of them dying in crossfire, most likely killed by the IDF or Hamas, but according to testimonies by Jewish Israelis, it was the IDF crossfire that killed them.
Is that the Israeli media and subsequently the international media choose to focus not on the very real and extensive crimes that Hamas and others did commit, but on crimes they did not commit. And this had two focuses. In the days immediately after, it's to do with babies. The most dramatic one is we see an allegation that there were 40 babies killed, many of them beheaded. This is very simple to deal with because we have a comprehensive list of the dead. We know that 2 babies are killed on October.
I haven't seen that list, dude. The confirmed data we've seen coming out from Haaretz, which came out a month after October 7th or something like that. The youngest one is like 4 years old or something like that. And that's like one incident. So the data I have doesn't reflect this.
The 7th. One is hit by a bullet fired through a safe room door. The other is a child who dies after an emergency cesarean. Now, any story about babies that does not relate to those two, and there are a lot of stories about babies, is not true.
It's funny because the Western newspaper tried to use pictures of Palestinian children. Say, look at what Hamas is doing, right? And then if you read the fine print, it said these were actually Palestinians, not Israeli. Hey, Hexit Dao. What's up? Privet.
We know it's not true. The Israelis have this strange system where they farm out the collection of bodies after disasters and terrorist attacks and so on to an organization called Zaka, who are ultra-Orthodox religious volunteers. They collect the bodies, prepare them for religious burial and so on. A character that many people will have seen in the days afterwards is Yossi Landau, who was the southern commander of Zaka, who was on television a great deal. He said,
piles of 10 children each were tied to the back, burned to death.
You then
We have seen who has their hands tied to their back, right? We've seen that. We saw that with the fucking massacres uncovered at Syria and Al-Shifa hospitals, right? Right. There's not one single video of civilians that was killed by Hamas, where we see Hamas killing them. But there's videos of dead civilians, but we don't see Hamas killing them. And there's proof, evidence, that Israel fired at civilians, at Hamas while there were civilians in the crossfire, and killed some of them. Right? And I have videos of that, and I've seen it, dude. I've seen it. Yeah, but I don't think you have, because people like you have been in here before, and they've made these claims, right? But when I asked about, can you show us the video of Hamas killing a civilian, they were unable to do so. So it's been like 7 months at this point, and I just don't believe you anymore. Right, because this is not the first time.
see a phone call which Netanyahu makes to President Biden, where he repeats this story. In fact, he embellishes it.
They took dozens of children, bound them up, burned them, and executed them.
Terribly important, this, because it was entirely untrue. We know the house he's talking about. He's talking about the house in Kibbutz Be'eri.
This house right here was not damaged by Hamas. This house was shelled by artillery or a tank. Hey, Bill Hicks. This one is on my Telegram. I can link it to you after. Hey, Shakay, what's up? How are you doing? Deck 1, I've seen all the footage from October 7th. All the footage I've seen. Multiple times. And I haven't seen any footage of Hamas killing any civilians. I have seen dead civilians. But like I told you, we don't see Hamas killing them. But there's videos of Apache helicopter run by the IDF, obviously, killing civilians. There's videos of that. There's also videos of Israeli tanks killing civilians from October 7th.
Which was the house that was stormed by Israeli police and military, and where it is almost certain that all of the hostages were killed by the Israeli police and military. There were 2 children there, 2 twins, but no other children, so we know the story is untrue. Mr. Landau told a number of other stories. There's one particularly notorious one about the fetus being cut out of a pregnant woman.
The baby that was connected to the cord was stabbed.
This is just a lie, dude. This has been proven as a lie. This has been the Israeli officials have been proven liars, dude, and throughout all this. You wanna be Matzi, Bruce? You're just gonna put it into slow mode.
She was shot in the back.
We simply know this is untrue. The list of the dead show there's no such victim. Mr. Landau said, I have a picture of this atrocity.
If you want to see the picture, I have the picture.
You know what's funny, dude? Yeah, I think it's this guy. He said he had a picture of it, dude. At deck 1, this guy is like you. He said he had a picture, right? And then the journalist said, can you show me the picture? Yeah, of course I can do that. And then he brought forth his mobile phone, right? And then he showed a picture of the floor where there was no bodies. No, nothing. He just showed the picture of the floor. I've seen all the videos from October 7th. All of them. And I haven't seen any civilians being shot at point blank. And I wouldn't be lying. Why would I be lying, dude? You are an Israeli. You would be trying to lie for Israel. I'm neither, dude. I'm just telling you what I've seen. And we've seen it all. We've seen it all, dude. Obviously, I'm the most reliable streamer on Twitch, dude. And I've seen all the videos. And I remember all of the other liberals on Twitch, they said, oh, Hamas killed civilians. I told them, no, they didn't, dude. We didn't see shit. I saw the one with the bunker where they threw in a grenade. But most likely we don't know if these are civilians or... Because there's a picture of the aftermath of inside there, right? And one of them is wearing a military t-shirt. So most likely these are actually militants. Most likely, right? It doesn't matter if it's civilian shelter. What we're talking about is the people. Were they militants? Were they IDF soldiers? Or were they civilians, right? That's what we're talking about. And they were wearing they were wearing military dressing, right? There is a survivor that said that the IDF soldiers were the one killing civilians, right? So we have testimonies on video saying the IDF soldiers were the one killing civilians in Crossfire. We also have the pilots from the Apache helicopter admitting it. We have the driver of the tank admitting it. We have videos of it, right? We have videos of it. Of course I got proof of it, dude. Of course.
Picture of it.
I'm no liar like you, right? I'm no fucking liar. So I got proof of everything I say. I wouldn't just be making up shit, right? So I got proof. You don't.
This is the baby.
Look. This is you. This is you, dude.
Stories. There's one particularly
This is Paramount.
notorious one about the fetus being cut out of a pregnant woman.
The baby that was connected to the cord
All fake and false, dude. I got it queued up. We're gonna watch this video first.
was stabbed. And she was shot in the back.
We simply know this is untrue.
This is untrue. This is fake, dude. The only people who tie people up and execute them is IDF, is Israel.
The list of the dead show there's no such victim. Mr. Landau said, I have a picture of this atrocity.
If you want to see the picture, I have the picture of it. This is the baby.
Look how confident he is, dude. This is the baby, he's saying, right? But on the picture, he's not showing a baby. He's just showing the floor. This is the nature of Israeli proof at this point, dude.
I'm sorry to be graphic here, but I can't see a baby here.
No baby. This is the baby. No baby. I have picture. Here's the picture with the baby. No baby, no picture.
You can't see the baby but this is the picture of the mother.
It was a
There's no mother. What? There's no body. There's no body, dude.
piece of charred flesh. It certainly wasn't a baby. So it was interesting. And psychologically,
And do you know who was charming people on October 7th? The Israeli Hellfire missiles.
I'm not quite sure why he offered to show me a photo that he didn't have. I'd point out as well that Zaka was an organization that was in trouble. There had been a major scandal. Its founder had been accused of child sexual abuse.
Oh shit. An Israeli accused of child sex abuse. Ain't that weird, dude? There's also IDF soldiers who rape children in prison, dude. And you have pedophiles from America who's taking refuge in Tel Aviv. What's going on here?
There was a financial scandal. It had been found to be cooking the books. It's raised an awful lot of money since October the 7th. These stories were clearly useful, and they were useful to the Israeli government. In the film, we see Benjamin Netanyahu visiting Zaka volunteers and thanking them for talking to the world's media and stressing that this is another front in the war. Why does this matter? Why does it matter whether this type of atrocity was committed, but not that type? People were killed in this way, not that way. It matters because the murder of babies.
That girl you're referring to, that's Shani Luke. Remember Shani Luke? Like when Shani Luke is alive, right? She was alive. So that video you're referring to there, you're referring to Shani Luke most likely. She was actually alive, right? And she was brought to the hospital. But then Israel killed her at the hospital. Her mom and dad confirmed this information. Right? So I'm just looking at the stuff you sent there. I can't see anything. You need to link to a concrete tweet because I don't see anyone being shot point blank. I'm just looking. There's nothing. So like always, it's just a lie, dude. I don't see anyone being shot at point blank. No one. Is this the same sort of evidence? Like this guy was saying, of course I got a photo. Here's the photo. That's the baby, and there's no baby. So again, you have no evidence. You have no proof. You gave me a link that didn't show anything, dude.
And widespread rape has a particular resonance. It's particularly triggering the Israeli government and its supporters when they justify the brutality of the subsequent bombardment.
What we should be worrying about is just now that we know that Israel is just fucking lying. Right? You just lied, that one. The only thing we should be worried about is just stopping the genocide. Right? That's the only concern for humanity. To stop the worst crime of humanity. That's the only concern. Right? To stop the worst thing that humanity is doing at this point. That's Israel. We need to stop what is worse than Auschwitz. It needs to be stopped, dude. And we all need to come together and do everything we can to stop it. We need to stop the biggest child killer on the planet, Israel. Gaza is experiencing something worse than Auschwitz, and we need to stop that, dude. We need to stop that. That's the same link as before. Yeah, but you're not linking to you're linking to a search query. You're not linking to a tweet. Link it to something that makes sense, Deck1. You're linking to a search query. Link to a tweet where you have concrete proof of something. I told you already.
An invasion of the Gaza Strip. Again and again and again, what they always reference is babies and rape.
Young girls who were raped and then murdered.
Women brutally.
The only proven rape we have is actually done by the IDF and Israel. Not the other way around. Not the other way around. And the UN and Human Rights Watch has been part of documenting that. I'm looking at the video. I don't see any Hamas so far. This is the crossfire video, where you got Hamas soldiers coming in, and then you got IDF soldiers, and then there's the crossfire, right? So I'm just looking at the video you sent. They're going through the gate. In fact, you got Hamas running amongst the civilians. It doesn't look like they're shooting them. I'm just looking at the video you sent. That is a video. That is definitely that is a video of Hamas killing 2 civilians, it looks like. That does look like Hamas killed at least 2 civilians in that video. The next video is the one with the bomb shelter. I've seen that one. But I don't know if that's a... I don't suspect that's a fucking civilian in that second video. I suspect it's an actual combatant, dude. I suspect that's an actual combatant.
Raped and murdered.
Little kids who are beheaded.
Pictures of terrorists beheading children.
These bastards put these babies in an oven and put on their oven.
This is something you see in previous conflicts as well. If you want to dehumanize an enemy, if you want to desensitize people to the suffering that is inflicted on that enemy, then you portray them as barbarians, basically as savages, as people who...
Google wouldn't delete anything, Dick, because Google is very pro-Israel. They would just delete everything that is pro-Palestine. And the same thing with Twitter. So Meta and Twitter and the social platforms and YouTube, they are super pro-Israel. That's why they had advertisement that says that Hamas beheaded babies and shit like that. You got Elon Musk going to Israel. So Google or Twitter would not be deleting pro-Israeli media.
who are not deserving of humane treatment. And that's why it's relevant. That's why it's important to pick apart. A lot of the world's leading media outlets have done
I feel like the first video is more clear than the second one.
in-depth investigations where they have concluded there was widespread, systematic, instrumentalized, weaponized rape. The New York Times makes a particular feature of the story of a young woman. She was killed early in the morning at 9 miles north of the music festival site as she and her husband were fleeing. The New York Times, in its big December
I remember this, dude. New York Times multiple times have said that Israel, that Hamas was doing rape, and they used testimonies from Israelis. And then the Israelis came out and said, no, none of this is true. None of this is true whatsoever.
investigation into sexual violence leads with this, and about a third of the article consists of her story. And it's immediately undermined because the woman's sister then posts on Instagram immediately afterwards, this isn't true, we know she wasn't raped. She was texting us until minutes before her death. It's also the case that her husband had a lengthy phone conversation immediately after her death with his brother, and again, made no mention of rape. So it's very important that, because it's the central, most compelling piece of information in one of the biggest investigations done by one of the world's most prestigious media outlets.
Token packs. What's up, dude?
the New York Times, and it turns out not to be true. So no babies were beheaded, no babies were thrown into ovens, and there is no real evidence for widespread and systematic rape. Now, it's very clear why the Israelis might want these stories to circulate. What's less clear is why very reputable Western news and media outlets should swallow them so uncritically, particularly given the track record of the Israeli government and the IDF, which has been shown again and again and again in the past to have been less than truthful in the account.
Israel has the worst history of fucking lying, dude. Remember when they bombed the fucking children on the beach or assassinated that journalist, the American journalist, right? Always with the fucking lies, dude. Then they said, no, Hamas did it, no, Palestinian resistance did it. No, it was us, it was a mistake, it wasn't us.
It gives of things. The response to our film, October the 7th, by the I Unit at Al Jazeera, has been interesting. The response is not to criticize and to pick apart and say we've got it wrong. They don't do that at all. What they do is they simply ignore you, which on one level I take as a compliment, because I think there are all sorts of people out there who would very much like to pick apart what we're doing and to destroy it and discredit it. And I think they take one look at it and decide they can't really do it. So what they do, which in a way is even more damaging, is just to entirely ignore us. So in a way, the treatment of this in many ways echoes the treatment of our earlier series, The Labour Files, which offered a critique of the dominant media narrative about Corbyn and the Corbyn years on the anti-Semitism crisis. They simply don't talk about it at all. In fact, episode 2 of The Labour Files on anti-Semitism, there has not been a single complaint against it, which is really quite remarkable given how contentious that issue is. What they do is they wield a far more powerful and effective weapon, which is to simply ignore it and silence it. To a degree, the same thing is happening with this one. You have people who run organizations like the BBC and so on, who still tend to think that just because, you know, there's been no article about it in the Observer or the New York Times or whatever, that no one knows about it. In this social media era, something can be entirely ignored by traditional media, but very large numbers of people can still be aware of it. And I think that's what happens. This whole thing is a case study in the importance of alternative media and in the importance of social media as a way of...
You know what? After this thing with Israel was exposed on October 7th, I feel like online commentators, independent media, most of which have been fucking exposed to also be on the payroll, dude.
transmitting those alternative voices. The events of October the 7th are a case study in how traditional media can let us down and how we desperately need alternative voices that will genuinely probe these things and not simply accept. For this reason, I think it's enormously important to have outlets like Double Down News, and I would urge you to support
That video I did see,
in any way you can.
take one, I just didn't count it because if there's like one death, at the amount of death, then obviously the goal of Hamas was not to kill civilians. The goal of Hamas was to kidnap them. And it does make sense to kill them if you want to kidnap them. And there's also videos of Hamas with civilians where you see them taking care of the children and being like together with the families and not hurting them. Right? So you got plenty of footage where you see Hamas mingling with Jews on October 7th and not killing them. Right? Yes, exactly. That's why as the overarching theme of October 7th was not that Hamas went in to kill civilians. I don't believe you, PPG. I don't believe you do. I got a longer video here. I'm not sure if you're gonna watch it, dude. This is a documentary on Iranian missiles. I don't know about this video, dude. Are we gonna watch this?
سر جنگی یکی از موشک‌های اسکادش که به
I don't think so.
فاتح 110
و قابل توجه در این موشک
I like watching the bunkers and stuff. Right, I like watching the fucking bunkers. But I don't want to go into like too much detail. Then we got another documentary, Terror on Demand. It's about Ukrainian terrorism. I did watch some of this, actually. We should be able to watch this. Operation Ukraine. Do you guys want to watch this? Let's start at Dugina.
Жители Донбасса с болью в сердце узнали о подлом теракте украинского нацистского режима.
PPG, you need to do more with that guy in cases too.
Унесшего жизнь.
And PPG, there's a video for you in my Discord.
Она жила во имя победы. И она погибла во имя победы. Нашей русской победы.
Every morning, Natalia Milentьeva, mother of journalist Daria Dugina, who was killed in a terrorist attack, begins with the same ritual. She rearranges Dasha's photographs on her bookshelf. It's the only way she can relate to her daughter now.
People, when we heard about this attack on the daughter of Alexander Dugin, people said the bomb was actually intended for him, but I'm starting to believe that's not the case. I think the bomb was intended for her. That's the car.
20th, 2022, a bomb planted in Dasha's car.
That's Alexander, dude.
10 p.m. near the village.
Jesus, could you imagine losing your fucking daughter like that?
Дьявольский удар точечный, просто какой-то дьявольский.
The assassins knew the journalist who reported daily on the conflict in Ukraine for Russian and European publications would be behind the wheel of her car. Now, instead of Dasha's articles, her father, the philosopher Alexander Dugin, posts a picture of her on social media every day, in which she's still a happy and lively girl. To half the world, she's become a symbol of the independence of Russian journalism and an example of the murderous nature of those who ordered her assassination.
Я получил сотни стихотворений людей и...
So, because they captured some and haven't killed them, it means what exactly? Somehow you may find it to make taking babies as hostages, like charity. What? What? I don't know what you mean, dude. I have no idea what you mean. What Hamas did on October 7th was to break out of a concentration camp. They went and attacked 5 military bases and police stations. And they killed soldiers, police officers. There were civilians that were killed, most of which were killed by IDF. There's proof of this. The video we had before was part of that. There is testimonies by Israelis saying that Hamas was in my house. I gave them a banana. There's videos of Hamas. The concert. In the concert, there was something with the concert, but that was between one of the concert wasn't a target of the attack. Hamas didn't even know about the concert. And what you see at the concert is you got IDF soldiers and IDF tanks. There's also videos from the concert with IDF soldiers shooting at Hamas, where there is civilians in between. Obviously, the concert was not a target, obviously. The bases was a target. That's why you saw there's videos of Hamas penetrating the fences and going into the bases and killing people, right? But there's videos of IDF soldiers. Special forces was at the concert. And there's videos of crossfire. And there's a civilian that gets shot in the leg. The concept was not to support Hamas. No. The concept was not to support Hamas. That's a lie you've been told. And there's videos of... there's no videos of Hamas killing anyone at the concert. That doesn't exist. But there's videos of the Israeli Apache helicopter killing hundreds of civilians trying to flee the festival right? You have like 300 cars that have been hit by the Apache helicopter. They were hit by IDF. You can see that the cars were hit by IDF because they were completely burned to smithereens. Then these are the cars that Israel wanted to cut into pieces and dig down. Right? And there's videos of the Apache helicopter shooting that, and there's testimonies from the pilot saying, "Yeah, we killed the civilians." Right? But the concept was not pro-Hamas concept. That doesn't. Yeah, he said that's not true. That's not true. I don't know where you get your info from, combat. You want to see? I can show you my videos too. I can do now. By the way, this one was reported. No, that's the wrong one. Sorry. Let's take a look at this one since we're going to go through all the Israeli stuff. This is a human rights attorney who is disbanding the Zionist narrative.
Hi, my name is Marina. I'm a freshman in the School of Foreign Service. And I'm wondering, based on your contention that Palestinian militants are fighting for their freedom, and also as a human rights lawyer, do you consider rape of the sort that was clearly documented in the...
There's no documented rape on October 7th. In fact, New York Times tried to make it seem like it, and they're referring to UN documents. The UN document says there's no proof, and we tried to find it, but it's very tough to find because Israel is hiding all the evidence.
New York Times reports on the Hamas attacks on October 7th, and then celebrated or entirely dismissed all over social media to be a legitimate form of resistance.
So a little bit on what you said, that same New York Times report and article has been debunked, and the family of the woman...
All of the articles the New York Times wrote about with the rape has been debunked. In fact, one of them was written by an Israeli. She was fired.
I don't want to... Wait. No, really. Let's just take this seriously. So it doesn't feel like we can't talk about it. I'm not trying to score a point with you. I'd like you to revisit that New York Times article. It has been debunked. And in fact, what we're finding is that we want to believe survivors, but there actually are no survivors who have told us that they've been raped. And that the evidence that we have had available to us has been not at all what you say as irrefutable. Otherwise, it would have been more clear to us. I've read the Physicians for Human Rights Israel report, and there's not a single case. In fact, it's all conjecture that they're giving us, kind of like the conjecture I gave you at the start of my talk, right? And that the families of those who said that they were raped said, no, they weren't. And then even the stories, the women, the hostages that were released all said they were afraid of being raped, but none of them were. They would have told us. So of course I wouldn't celebrate it. And I don't celebrate it. And no one is celebrating it. There is a pushback and an ask for thorough investigations because we've seen two trends very clearly.
It's funny because Israel is preventing third-party investigations.
We've seen the demonization...
They're blocking it. They're actively blocking it.
...of Palestinians and the mobilization of disinformation used that's proven false later in order to justify more killing of Palestinians, including the fact that there were no 40 babies beheaded, including the fact that there wasn't a command and control center under the hospital. And yet, based on that false information that our president repeated, thousands of Palestinian children have been killed. So it is incumbent upon us to be thorough and scrutinizing. And the second is, if we are serious about sexual violence in the context of armed conflict, then we must take seriously the sexual violence endured by Palestinian women, men, and children in Israeli captivity that has been well documented. And so I'm with you.
We got proof of rape, but it was done by Israel on Palestinians.
But we have to be clear across the board of what we're dealing with.
I got more videos. I want to take them one at a time. So Israel put this one out. So Israel posted a video where they said that Hamas killed the mothers of these children and then took the children and killed them, right? Obviously, that was a fake video. This video we watched after October 7th, right? We saw this video. So Israel tried to take advantage of the video after, like months after it was used. Look at the subtitles.
This is one of the targets. This is a child.
Just gonna stop it right there, boys. Just gonna stop it right there. They went into other people's houses and they got food. There was one who gave them banana. I think that was inside the house and they're inside the garden as well. That video exists in a longer version where they are in the garden and taking care of the children.
The list of the dead shows 2 12-year-old twins are killed when police and army stormed the house in Be'eri.
This house was shot by an artillery shell, most likely by a tank.
But there are no other children.
It was an interview we did with Sky Television from Britain. 2 piles, we found them in Bury. 2 piles of 10 children each were tied back to back and burned to death. Now again,
all a lie, dude.
I mean, if we look at the death figures at Bury, there are only 10 children that died at Bury.
Not children, it's 18-year-old. So we all together, when you look at them and they're burned, you don't know exactly the ages. So you're talking about 18-year-old, 20 years old, and you can't. You
can tell a 20-year-old from a baby, obviously.
You just don't look on the spot.
It's very easy, combat. It's very easy because there's many videos where Hamas on October 7th didn't kill the civilians. The people were burnt because of Israel. They used artillery shells and Apache Hellfire missiles, which there's proof of.
Identification.
I'll come to that. Take one.
To see the ages.
Now we're gonna show all the Israeli lies.
Or something like that.
But there's many videos of Hamas mingling with the Jews and not killing them, and where they are just behaving normally. There's a testimonies of that as well, dude. There's a woman saying they just ask for food and they asked if I could take this banana, and the woman said, "Yeah, take it."
It is not the only questionable story that Yossi Landau tells about Kibbutz Be'eri.
We go further. Then we see a woman. She was lying on the floor.
That's all. This is a lie, obviously.
Puddle of blood. Big puddle.
Yeah, that's already been proven.
Of blood.
So I don't need to convince anyone combat because I got evidence. And there's videos of it. And Israel themselves is admitting it combat, so I don't need to convince anyone.
She was a pregnant woman.
What he's referring to is when IDF soldiers took a pregnant Palestinian woman and cut her open. They did that once. And they also refer to a point in time when they took a baby out of the hands of a man and pulled the baby or pushed the baby into an oven. And the man ran after the baby. Both of them burned to death. So so every Israeli accusation is a confession. Hey, Nikki.
Her stomach was butchered open.
What do you mean? They didn't take babies as hostages. They might have taken families as hostages. Yeah. There is a mom with 2 kids. The kids were like 10 years old or something. They were taken hostages, yeah. I think they were released like the day after.
The baby that was connected to the cord was stabbed. And she was shot in the back.
That's a lie, dude. That's a lie.
Kibbutz Be'eri has denied this account.
The story of the pregnant woman reported by Zaka is not relevant to Be'eri.
Yossi Landau insists he witnessed
Look, so he's pretending to like cry.
this scene at Be'eri.
If you want to see the picture, I have the picture of it.
Are you able to
I have evidence.
share the photographic evidence with us?
To show you. Yes. Where's my phone? Oh, I'm sorry. I will not put it in front of the camera.
No, that's fine. I'll come and look.
This is the knife they used.
Shot and killed, but
Over here was the woman.
But that's the imagery after the bodies had been cleared away. Oh.
Yes. This is the baby. This is it.
Yeah, that's a family. Take one. That's a family. I told you. They didn't kidnap babies. They just took the families. I told you that already.
I'm sorry to be graphic here, but I can't see a baby here.
You can't see the baby but this is the picture of the mother.
Okay.
For sure, you know, we didn't think when we over there,
I got the picture. Has the picture. There's no picture. I didn't think
to camera everything.
I didn't think to do proper documentation of the crime scene.
Didn't have that. This
I know. I told you that already.
In our.
Yeah, they also do that in fucking what's it called, Guantanamo Bay, dude. But the Israeli prisons is probably way worse than Guantanamo
The
Bay,
photo
dude.
shows an unidentifiable piece of charred flesh.
So again, just another piece of lie, dude. Moving on, I'm gonna show the next one. This was posted the day before October 7th. October 6th is the day before, alright? And it says 2023 is the deadliest year for Palestinian children. Okay, it's not coming from Hamas. Here's a list of massacres done by Israel. It goes back 100 years, boys. Jens Stoltenberg. This one's been downloaded. Can you put the Hamas list side by side? What Hamas list? Samad, Russia also have Poseidon. Look, that's IDF using human shields, dude. No, there was peace before combat. When they were living under Arab rule, there was peace in Palestine. So again, you're lying, combat. There was peace before. But when it was living under Arab rule, dude. When they were living under Arab rule, there was peace. This is not a forever war. That's something that you were propagandized with, but it's not true. It's not true. The UK's involvement in Palestine caused all this. The Balfour Declaration caused it. No, it's not. No, it's not. And you can prove it is. There's plenty of videos of Palestine before all this, and it's peaceful. And you got a history proving it. What are you talking about? The first war was between Israel and the Palestinians. What are you talking about before? I don't know what you mean. Are you saying that Israel was there before 48? I don't know what you mean, dude. I don't know what you mean, dude. I have no idea. Israel using human shields. There's not a single piece of evidence that Hamas is using human shields. Yes, they did. In fact, the Jews were mostly protected when they were living with the Arabs. And they were exposed when they were living with the Christians. right? And the Balfour Declaration is from, was it 1917 or something? This is an example. This is an example of a testimony by an Israeli woman, her experience with the Hamas fighters.
הם נכנסים, ואני אומרת להם, יש לי פה 2 ילדים. הדבר הראשון שאני אומרת להם, בעברית? לא, באנגלית. הם מסתכלים, ואז אחד אומר לי באנגלית, אל תדאגי, אני מוסלמי, אנחנו לא נפגע בכם.
No, Israel is a Western project, take one. And Israel is a Western project to destabilize the Middle East. Right? And the Balfour Declaration is from 1917, right? And the Jews at that point in time was living all over, and they were mostly living safely under Arab rule, not only in Palestine but other places, Morocco.
תפס אותי מצד אחד בהפתעה, מצד שני זה הוריד לי הרבה לחץ, וישבתי עם הילדים שלי, והמחבלים הביאו כיסא מהפינת אוכל, היה מחבל חמוש כל הזמן איתנו בממ"ד, והשאר מסתובבים בבית. אחד מהם רואה על השיש בננות, אומר לי, אפשר לאכול אחת? אמרתי לו, כן, אתה יכול לאכול אחת.
מה הילדים אמרו?
No, but the Jews took land. In fact, the Jews got their land by committing massacres. So you have it upside down, dude. The Jews were killing the Palestinians, and then they took the land. And the Israelis, let's call them the Israelis instead of the Jews, right? Let's call them that. And the Israelis, they shouldn't be able to take land or have a state on behest of dead Palestinians, which is what they've been doing, right?
הגדול קצת יותר נלחץ, הקטנה לא ממש הזיז לה, הייתה עסוקה בטאבלט שלה. הם היו אצלי בערך 2 שעתיים. בסוף השעתיים האלה, אחד מהם סוגר לי
What do you mean? Yeah, the Balfour Declaration is from before that.
את הממ"ד, והם יוצאים. זהו. וזהו.
1917. That was a video by an Israeli and her experience with the Hamas fighters saying everything was fine, dude. Everything was fine, dude. This is Hamas charter saying they have nothing against the Jews, but they only have something against the Zionists. So anything that some people saying that the Hamas wants to eliminate the Jews is just a lie, dude. Just a lie. Again, use of human shields by the IDF. Civilians make up 61% of Gaza death after airstrikes. That's a very big fucking ratio, dude. This is the Colonel Golan Vak admitting to shelling kibbutzes with tanks.
Our tanks attack.
You wanted the proof, Deck One. Here's the proof.
Our tanks attack.
Fight on them.
Yeah, because they were blocked in these houses, and we need to conquer back the whole settlement.
That's from Be'eri.
And it couldn't be happened without the tank.
That's the proof that they did it, dude. Israel fucking did it. This is also a good video.
Legal right to armed resistance. And this was stated very clearly.
Remember when we talk about the situation in Palestine, the Palestinians have the law with them. Israel does not.
In a United Nations General Assembly resolution from 1980, which is Resolution 35/35, the resolution, quote, reaffirms the legitimacy of the struggle of peoples for independence, territorial integrity, national unity, and liberation from colonial and foreign domination and foreign occupation by all available means, including armed struggle. Armed struggle. They emphasize that. And in particular, they mention, quote, the denial to the Palestinian people of their inalienable national rights. Israel is a colonial apartheid regime.
Silver, you know what would be fun, dude? If we could do like a debate with some assholes. And I need you to destroy them, dude. I need for you to destroy them. I think it could be fun, dude. I think it could be fun. We should do it like a Friday evening, which would be your Friday afternoon. And we'll do like some debate. You, me, and Turbo versus them. I think it could... The idea is not to debate Silver. The idea is just to have fun. And you know what you did last time, you know? In the Discord. Something similar. Something similar to that. Yes. 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 Essentially just fucking destroy them, dude. That's what we wanted to do. Real communist. Right tailist psyops. Left tailist psyops. But I don't understand this, dude. There's a lot of evidence. Deck one. There's a lot, dude. This is a testimony from a girl saying, from a woman saying, yeah, IDF killed us, dude. The IDF was the one killing us.
The Israeli press has started to question the official narrative around the 7 October attack. While most Israeli journalists are clear that Palestinian militants were responsible for a large-scale attack on Israeli military bases and civilian homes in which non-combatants were certainly killed, there is growing evidence of friendly fire, meaning Israelis killed by the Israeli military. Take the article from Israeli broadsheet Haaretz from 18 November. It reveals details of an investigation into the killing of people fleeing from the Nova Music Festival on 7th October. According to a police source,
even the Israelis are admitting it.
An investigation into the incident also revealed that an IDF combat helicopter fired at the terrorists and apparently also hit some of the revelers who were there. This report is backed up by reportage that aired on Israel's channel 12 News. According to that report, pilots admitted not knowing who they were firing.
Silver, it needs to be like Friday, Saturday or something like that. Right? Something where we can just sit and relax and don't need to worry about anything.
Bring out.
הרבה מכוניות על כביש 232 עומדות, וחלקן עם דלתות פתוחות. אני מבין שהולך להיות לי פה דילמה, מי זה כוחותינו, מי זה אויב, אם בכלל, ומי זה אזרחים.
So with this in mind, we look back.
All these cars were destroyed by the Apache helicopter.
The footage of the cars of Nova festival goers, which were destroyed trying to escape Hamas's attack on the festival. Could Hamas weapons have carried out the kind of destruction seen on the 7 October attack? A CNN analysis of the weapons Hamas used described it as, and I quote, cheap, second-hand, makeshift arsenal. Many of the weapons appeared to be altered Russian or Chinese weapons, largely AK-47s. The level of destruction appears consistent with explosive munitions. Hamas are also known to have grenades and rockets, but given Haaretz's quotes, where it cites Israeli intelligence sources saying that the militant group did not have prior knowledge of the festival, would it have been possible to cause this amount of damage with homemade rockets, most of which are intercepted by the Iron Dome anyway? The level of damage appears consistent with the more advanced weapons like that of an Israeli Apache helicopter. In support of this theory, an Israeli army pilot speaking to Haaretz explained that the military deployed the Hannibal Directive on October.
The charred cars could only have been destroyed by the Apache helicopter. You can't disprove that. There's also videos of the helicopters shooting them, and the pilot is admitting it. So we don't need to try and defend that when we know it's the case. We know that for sure, Deck One. You're just gonna be doing some massive mental gymnastic, and if you're gonna be insincere and try to lie, then this doesn't become that entertaining anymore, right? The Apache helicopter pilot admitted they did it.
October 7th. This allows the army to kill their own citizens to prevent them from
No, it's on Haaretz, dude.
being taken captive.
פה זה היה חניבל המוני. זה היה
This is the footage.
משימה בלתי אפשרית.
That's the footage, by the way, right?
שהתחיל ירי של מסקרים וכטמ"רים על הגדר כשראו את המסות שנכנסות ויוצאות.
It seems the same directive was applied to hostages held at residential homes in the kibbutzim in southern Israel, which is exactly what a security guard at kibbutz Be'eri said, according to Haaretz, on October 20. The commanders in the field made difficult decisions, including shelling houses with occupants inside in order to eliminate the terrorists without knowing whether the Israelis in those buildings were alive or dead. Footage from that time shows heavily burnt and damaged homes. At the time, Israeli officials and the media, as can be seen in this clip from I-24, said it was Hamas that burnt the homes. And while this is still a possibility, the damage of some homes, like the huge crater in this wall, is consistent with...
No, the pilot is saying that they shot at the civilians. They didn't know who was who. And the interview with the pilot was at the beginning of this video.
With shelling and explosive munitions. In addition, several survivors described how Israeli forces...
And even Haaretz even talks about this. They admitted to.
Quote, undoubtedly killed their own civilians on October 7th. Yasmin Porat told Israeli state broadcaster Khan that she was taken captive by gunmen after fleeing the Nova Festival.
יש 5 בני ערובה ששוכבים, או 6, והמחבלים...
הטרוריסטים ירו בהם?
לא, הם נהרגו מהחילופי ירי, תבין שהיה חילופי ירי מאוד מאוד קשים.
זאת אומרת, יכול להיות שזה כוחותינו ירו בהם? כשניסו לחסל את החוטפים, את החמאס?
הם חיסלו את כולם, כולל בני ערובה. באיזשהו שלב מגיע טנק מול הבית. הילדה לא הפסיקה לצרוח כל השעות האלה. היא לא הפסיקה לצרוח, אז אמרתי, אני זוכרת שגם כשאני הייתי בשעה הראשונה, היא לא הפסיקה לצרוח. ואז היא אמרה לי ביסמין שהיו את השני פגזים האלה, לא הפסיקה לצרוח. אז הייתה דממה.
Yeah, over 300 civilians were killed by the Apache helicopter.
The pattern that seems to be emerging is that...
And there's videos of that as well.
Many of the claims made of beheaded babies, babies in ovens, and other extremely shocking and lewd claims made by the Israeli politicians and reported across the world have not been backed up by evidence. These claims made early on in the attack on Gaza were to green light maximum force and retaliation as far as Israel's allies were concerned. While in Gaza, it is clear that almost all civilian deaths have come from Israeli airstrikes,
exactly,
drones and shelling.
Exactly,
the situation on October 7 is less clear.
That's why there's so few videos of Hamas killing civilians.
What we need is an independent investigation to verify exactly what happened.
That's why. The pilot admits it. The tank driver admits it. Israel is admitting it. Why are you not admitting it, dude? Why are you not admitting it? Yeah, I definitely. Silver, do you think that this was like do you think that they knew something was happening? I think Israel was caught with their pants down, dude. Honestly, I don't think they fucking knew. Yeah, I agree. I don't think they fucking knew. It's too embarrassing, right? And they don't like being embarrassed. That's why they themselves try to say, "Oh yeah, we knew. We let it happen." Right? And the pilot did admit it, yeah. The pilot did admit it, take one. He said that we were shooting at both civilians and Hamas. He said that. And over 300 civilians were killed. And there's footage to back it up. And in fact, you can see from the damage on the kibbutzes and the cars that Hamas didn't do the damage. I already showed you the video. I just did. I showed you many videos. Right? I already showed you that. Why would I show it again? Did you not pay attention? You can also see here. Look at all these, dude. All these cars, all of these cars, none of them were damaged by Hamas. They can't do this level of damage. All of these cars, they were damaged by the Apache helicopter. All of them. And that means that the Apache helicopter killed all of these people. All of them. There's hundreds of charred cars here. Yeah, Hamas can't do this. That's impossible. It's impossible. An RPG can't do shit like this, dude. This is Hellfire missiles that did this. And so you have hundreds of people here and that were killed by IDF. This is proof, right? This is tangible proof. And the pilot did say it. He said we were shooting both at civilians. No, an RPG can disable a tank. It can't damage it like this. It can make like a small dent in a tank. But an RPG can't do this to a car, dude. Did you see the fucking roof? We know this because we have seen an RPG in action. Look at this. An RPG can't do this, obviously. And could you imagine Hamas having like 300 RPGs? Right, that's only fucking dumbasses believe that. Take one. If you're gonna lie, I'm gonna ban you. If you can't take the evidence, I'm gonna fucking ban you, dude. This is clear evidence that Apache helicopter did this damage. And if you're gonna be insincere or bad faith, I'm gonna fucking ban you, dude. We've already wasted like a fucking hour on you or something. Here is the proof. If you can't change your mind, okay, then it's out, dude. Then you're leaving. I feel like we wasted that. If he can't change his mind with that, then there it is, dude. There it is. Remember, people were saying yesterday in PPG's Discord that, oh, America doesn't deploy snipers on the roof at universities. This is at a university. These are snipers. These are snipers. Totalitarian regime cracks down on political dissidents. I got a video here, which is cool as fuck, dude. I haven't seen it. But this is the first video we see from Yemen in the tunnels beneath the mountains. Very cool. I actually asked the Yemenis for this, but they said no, you can't have it, dude. We don't want to show you our location. banned him, like he was just being annoying at the end, dude. It's just a waste of time, dude. You can clearly see it that the cars from the Nova Music Festival, they were damaged from above.
في غزة وفي سائر فلسطين نقول للإخوة المجاهدين في فلسطين في غزة العزة لستم وحدكم.
Very cool video, boys. Very fucking cool video. Nelson Mandela's son, he was banned on Twitter by Elon Musk when he was his crime was to deliver food to the starving people of Gaza during the Israeli-created famine as part of their genocide of Gaza. Hey, Wizard. Hey, Melwats. They are not terrorists, dude. Hamas are classified as terrorists by their enemies. I know nothing about the upcoming deal, Rangers. Rangers, I saw a video of the pier. I didn't see any damage. I haven't heard any. I have not seen any reports of damage to the pier by Hamas. We got Arab Christian scouts celebrating Palm Sunday in Jerusalem and Damascus. Okay. Hey, Furnace. And did I say hey to you, Wizard? I did say hey to you. Okay. What are you up to, Furnace? Save that though. And trillions of cicadas are emerging in parts of the US after an absence of more than a decade.
Trillions of cicadas are emerging in some parts of the country after laying dormant for more than a decade. The collective noise from the insects can be as loud as a jet engine. It is so loud that some residents in South Carolina call the police. Cicadas are also beginning to come out in Illinois, which will see two broods co-emerge for the first time in 200 years.
They're fucking big, dude. The NATO training doctrine and structure is such that the CEO, often through what is called command authority, is who gets to determine if there's too much collateral damage about to happen. That is why I highlighted the 26-year-old Major General. We also saw Ukraine applying the NATO doctrine in the counteroffensive. Silver essentially just attack the enemy, hope that they will run, and then run them over. If the deal goes through, they will break the government. What does that mean, Rangers? Russian defense plant NPO has patented a new stealth jet drone. Okay. Who's gonna adhere to military patents, dude? Its features including a balancing canard design and placement of the engine's air intake under the fuselage. This will help increase the maximum lift-to-drag ratio and lift coefficient. The purpose of the drone is still unknown. It's expected to be able to carry out strikes and reconnaissance missions. Yeah. Okay. See how big it is. Very cool, click look. There's a threat in Israel by some of the government that if the deal goes through, they will break the government. The Netanyahu administration, that is. The deal is too bad for Israel. Rangers, what happened to Ben Gvir? And he was admitted to the hospital. The permission from command for a soldier who does not have command authority to affirm is drilled into us. Just when you hear shoot, you shoot. And when you hear ceasefire, you stop. The clown Ben Gvir, isn't that the guy who would like threaten the government? I feel like that's what I would. What is this? It looks like a weird version of the Lancet, dude. This is at some sort of exhibition in Russia. That looks like a normal one, dude. Like a sort of quadcopter. Static grenade. What's happening here? How does it deploy this one? No, it's a kamikaze drone. It's a kamikaze. I couldn't. What? Surely this is a kamikaze drone, right? Unless it's like fucking bends or something. Bigger ones. These are probably reconnaissance. This is tactical exercise Whirlwind 2024 kamikaze drones. So the Serbian armed forces are using these. Yeah, these must be kamikaze. Probably 3D printed, dude. Look at the legs. They can carry supplies. In between there. This one looks like a Lancet sort of thing, right? That also looks like it has a warhead. It's Serbian weapons, click look. I can send you this. It says it's Serbian weapons. Take a look. BRICS conducts 260 billion worth of trade without the US dollar. Lol. And then we got another video of the turtle tank, dude.
2 weeks ago, we looked at a curious infield.
This is a long video. The Blue Mobile
adaptation carried out by a Russian unit operating near Krasnohorivka. A T-72 had been near totally enclosed by sheet metal to protect it from FPV drones. Various imagery showed the tank encased in a trapezoidal steel structure, giving the vehicle the look of a shed on tracks. Since then,
but does this one have? We don't see any mine clearance, do we?
Several other similar turtle tanks have been seen in the field. Ukrainian social media described.
Why doesn't Ukraine use drones? The reason why they don't use drones against the one behind is because of the electronic warfare that sits here. It must be powerful enough to protect the entire group.
Describes the vehicles as turtle tanks or Blyatmobiles, while Russian Telegram channels refer to the tanks as Tsar Mangal or Tsar's Grill. Some of them also refer to them as assault garages. To give it a more academic name, it could be described as a counter-FPV
I thought tanks were obsolete.
Shell. Generally speaking, at the moment, Ukraine is short of anti-tank guided missiles and artillery ammunition. which would be traditionally used to take on armoured vehicles. Over the past year, Ukraine has held the advantage in FPV drone production and has come to rely on them as a way of targeting Russian armour. It appears that these shelters have been fabricated in an effort to mitigate Ukraine's use of FPVs, offering an additional layer of physical protection.
But what about the mines, though? I don't see any demining on these.
Often alongside electronic warfare systems. A day or so after I shared my initial video on the turtle tank, more imagery of what was either another turtle tank or the first one rebuilt appeared online. The vehicle's shell had a slightly different profile, and notably mounted on top was an electronic warfare device to counter drones. In imagery shared on the 17th of April, we got a better look at what I'm going to call the Mark II turtle tank. Unlike the first vehicle, it appears to be constructed from corrugated sheet metal and is fully enclosed, preventing any traverse of the tank's turret. It's been speculated that Russian engineers took a damaged
So they can't turn the turret then? Obviously they can't do that, right? Because they just have to turn the entire tank. But that is possible. It can turn like 60 on the spot, right?
Tank, which couldn't move its turret, and built a breacher vehicle, which could be used to lead assault columns. Like the first turtle tank, this iteration also has a KMT-6 mine plow fitted.
And I bet these are fucking efficient, Silver. The Ukrainians are complaining about the electronic warfare.
With a fully enclosed shell, it's unclear.
Mailwhite, you need to stop Nikki from raiding the dummies, dude. It's on you, Mailwhite. I've tried, dude. I fucking tried, but
if the Mark II is being used for transporting troops, or if it's being enclosed to protect its electronic warfare or EW kit, or perhaps both. The shell would in theory give all-round protection against drone attack. The footage of the vehicle, said to have been filmed around the 15th of April, shows the vehicle on the move. It survives several near misses from artillery, and it also shows the vehicle making a wrong turn, probably due to its severely restricted visibility. On the 19th of April, a Russian Telegram channel shared a video showing several photographs of the construction of the initial turtle tank, showing its inner framework. A week later, on the 25th of April, Russian news outlet Izvestia shared footage of one of the tanks.
I don't have an invite.
Mine plow in action, leading a column of vehicles in the Krasnohorivka sector. The vehicle is immobilized by what appears to be a
50 meter in diameter circle of protection. Anything entering the area would start just going in frenzy. It would probably just go straight and wouldn't be able to move. But my impression is that when you have electronic warfare and you have a drone flying into it, it just keeps flying. It can't really maneuver.
mine blast, with Russian sources suggesting it became stuck. A video filmed by another drone shows the rear angle of the column's advance.
This is so funny, dude. You can see there is some artillery, Silver, trying to take them out.
Izvestia's report suggests that the...
Was that a mine, dude? What the shit was that? Did you see that? What's that?
Izvestia's report...
What is that, dude?
Suggests that the tank was locally known as Ferdinand. Further footage shows the salvaging of Ferdinand, with another tank successfully towing it away.
It might have been immobilized because of a mine, right?
Here's another video showing another Overwatch angle of the salvage operation. Closer drone footage of the stricken tank shows that the red corrugated sheet metal has been covered in a camouflage net, and there's also what appears to be an electronic warfare device mounted on the roof of the shell. The sides of the vehicle's shell are less sloped, and the front of the shell appears to be less enclosed than the second iteration of the turtle tank. In additional footage, a new iteration of the improvised counter-FPV shelters appear with a turtle BMP, again seen in action inside Krasnohorivka. What appears to be earlier footage shows both the Ferdinand and the turtle BMP moving on a road in the Petrovsky district. The Turtle BMP appears to be fitted with a mine plough.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Also on the 25th of April, 2 photographs of fabrication of another turtle tank were also shared. These show a frame of 6 supporting arches onto which steel plates have been welded. On top of this is a mesh screen which has been attached, adding another layer of spaced protection. A short video of yet another variant shows a sheet metal shell with an enclosed rear that has a door and steps, perhaps allowing passengers to debus. The front of the shell is much more open, and there's no sign of any electronic warfare devices mounted on the shell. It's unclear when and where this footage was filmed. Intriguingly, the concept of
if a drone hits this, it's not gonna do any damage, is it?
a counter FPV shelter made from sheet metal appears to be proliferating, with several images of another vehicle said to originate from the Shaziv Yar area to the north of Krasnohorivka, where the first vehicles were seen. The shell appears to be made from corrugated metal sheets, and unlike some of the earlier examples, has been painted in a camouflage pattern. Unlike some of the other turtle tanks, this one does not appear to have a mine plough fitted, and it has a curtain of chains to protect the openings at the front and rear of the shell. From the available imagery, it appears that the majority of the vehicles outfitted with a counter FPV shell are also equipped with mine ploughs. Though admittedly the imagery sample number is limited, this does further support the theory that they are being used, at least partially, as breacher vehicles. Some, however, do appear to be optimised for transporting infantry. It's unclear if all of the turtle tanks are being operated by the 5th Motorised Rifle Brigade, but there may be early signs that the counter FPV shelter concept may be proliferating to other sectors and other units. While the vehicles may appear ridiculous, they are proving at least somewhat effective in mitigating the threat of Ukrainian FPV drones, though their shells will offer little protection against anything else. No doubt as I finish up this video on the 26th of April and publish it in a couple of days' time, some more imagery of the turtle tanks will have emerged. So make sure you check out thearmorersbench.com for the accompanying article to this video, where I'll add updates as and when is needed. That's something I do for all of the articles tracking the weapons that are being used in Ukraine. Speaking of which, check out the extensive playlist of earlier videos.
I feel like it's very cool, dude. They keep fucking playing with shit like that. Here's a video of us using this in Foxhole. The difference is that we cannot do this with tanks. It's not possible, but we did this with the emplacement guns, which is why we are very similar. Front lock turrets, tougher to kill. This one?
Yep. It's blocked. It's blocked.
Yeah, we probably are screwed.
You sure there? I'm fighting. They're tracked now too.
The gun is under the truck, you can see the barrel.
Lost cause.
Yeah, I see it now.
It's blocked by terrain. Blocked by terrain.
Yep. Repair, we got pinned.
Oh yeah, I'm out of BMS. Can't do anything. Oh.
Seems like
wants to poke us. It can't get us, Oh, nice parking spot.
I just pinned their tank.
Yep, there's nothing.
Oh my god! What the fuck
they
killed
just
that?
lost their outlaw trying to get us.
Oh, the LTD.
Do you want to risk it for the other outlaw?
Yep,
okay,
let the corpse.
And they're turreted.
Rush.
Magic, please.
I don't understand what's what I'm saying.
Yes, boys.
There you go.
Where's the fucking gun, dude? There it is, I see it now.
That's how you LTD.
Can you kill me, please? Can you tell your guy to kill me? Oh, we're going to die now. We made it before. Hey, go, yo, someone kill me.
One hit. Reloading.
Now, time to get BMAT.
Killed him.
Then the shot doesn't kill the tank.
Yeah, I'm coming to second this.
What?
Nice.
They're hiding the weapon under the other tank, dude. Under the other vehicle. It's like, it seems like a hack of sorts, right?
So everyone in the chat, we need to go redeploy to Soto right now. Kill popped.
Have you played World of Tanks? Have you played that, Silver? This is a drone, Baba Yaga. They fucking called it. It's called Foxhole Furnace. Check it out, dude. Silver streams it sometimes. A big drone though, Baba Yaga. I'm not sure if what the Ukrainians use this for, but it must be more than reconnaissance. It looks like it has some detachment here it can like release and let it go. Then Blinken is in China, and he went to China, Beijing, after Blinken left.
It's good to see electric vehicles making progress.
He's there because he wants to buy AI data, Silver. China has a shit ton of AI data. And you know what? They're gonna fucking sell it to him, dude. I wish they wouldn't. I wish the Chinese would be more aggressive, dude. Yeah, but I just wish they were more competitive. I don't think the Chinese want a fucking Tesla car, dude. The Chinese, they don't give a shit about Tesla. The war is coming and they're trying to save Chinese lives. The war is coming very soon, isn't it? Like 5 years, something like that. We talked about yesterday about the ability of America scaling up production. Just seems like they can't scale up to something that makes sense. US military pay off Gaza to cost 320 million. What the shit, dude? What? Why does it cost so much? It's a naval fort. It's for them to have a fucking base. What the shit, dude? This is damage done from a tornado in America, Oklahoma. They say it's a pier. Silver, you know what I was considering? I just keep working in Norway at a high salary. Maybe buy something in Russia and then go there like 3 times a year instead of moving to Russia. Good question, CK. Good question, dude. wonder how many people died, dude. You can go to Vorkuta and live there for the rest of your life. Where is Vorkuta, Sibrusk? Four died. But where is it, Sibrusk? I want something cool, something town in Russia. You know what, Sibusk? That's very close to that island that was nuked. Clicklock, what do you think of Boku? You know, Sibusk, I was considering something a bit more exotic, dude. Like Sochi or Yalta. I want to just put my money somewhere. So it's not that I have that many, but whatever. Hey, bad boys. I was just thinking of you because of you going through the fucking tornado. I don't want to show this on stream because I'm logged into Facebook. I hate Facebook. Do you remember I showed the place where the prison was, where Navalny was? Vorkuta is somewhere around there. It's very north. What about Yalta or Sochi, Sibirusk, Kliklok? What does intifada mean?
Intifada? What is the meaning of intifada, Jess? What does that mean? Google it! Google it! You have the internet, right? You have a phone? Yeah. Google it!
No, tell us, dude. Just tell us.
What does that mean? Google it! Educate yourself. Intifada means more death of Arabs! More death of Jews! That's what intifada means! More death of Arabs! That's what it means! Oh, that's fucking bad! Look at this!
I recognize this guy, I think. Yes. This is a guy who makes very pro Israeli media. All of the civilians are terrorists. The first Intifada, was that like a peaceful protest, wasn't it? I thought it was like a peaceful protest. It referred to that. That's what I thought, dude. This is Silver. Sorry for yawning, dude. Take a look at this. We need more Chinese memes, by the way. This is from Tehran. And you know what? I fucking love like old photos like this. This is from 1360. What? Is that true? That's true? What? It says 1360. That can't be true. Students of elementary school for girls in Tehran, 1360. Did you see Africa? I did not. I did not. I don't know, I don't fucking know, dude. African and Middle Eastern nations withdraw gold reserves amid American economic concerns. Lol. It is Hijri calendar. What does it translate to? Silver, give us some predictions, dude. When do we need to buy food? 1941. Okay. Repatriated that gold to their countries for safekeeping. Get it out of America at least. Because you don't wanna... America won't give it back to you. And if they do, it's probably gonna be tungsten, dude. Sirusk, Tbilisi. We got clashes with police near the Georgian parliament. This to me, Sirusk, looks like anti. Look, you got the European flag, Sirusk. These protests are artificial. They are for the bill. Sibuski. Hey, Alex. But these protests are at least for the bill. You saw the European flag, dude. They're clashing with police. In Telegram, there's a video of attacks on such turtle tanks by the Ukraine. According to their data, the Ukrainian armed forces were able to knock out, but only a tank using a huge number of FPV drones. I am very curious about whether you can knock that one out, dude. Yeah, but I can't do that, Silver. It's impossible to do here. I can't grow anything on a scale that would change anything whatsoever. If I was able to buy a place in Russia, then maybe, yeah. Yeah, but hydro and aquaponics, I can't do that in this apartment. I can't do that. I would just be destroying the apartment, essentially. And it's a new, modern, expensive apartment. And I need to move at some point. So I can't do that. It's unfeasible where I am right now. What I think I would just do is just buy a shit ton of cans, dude. That's what I think I would do. Canned food. I might have that. I think I have that one queued up, Sibuski. Like have something here. This is the turtle Blyat mobile. So there's a shit ton of drones trying to take it out. You know what I wonder? I wonder if the Ukrainians thought, fuck it, we're gonna try to take it out and see how much it takes. Almost like an experiment. That is artillery, surely. Is there two? Is there two of them? Is that an FPV drone? It's so tough to tell. Was that a drone? The other one? Okay. We didn't see much. Let me just check again, dude. So it looks like there's some dust from drones. Maybe it's just from them driving, but that's probably from drones. So they were attacked. Then that's a drone that's missing the target. You see the smoke dissipated. That means that it has been hit. And there's another drone, possibly. But it's hitting right beneath it, which is probably where you want to hit, though. And now I think it's disabled. To some extent, at least. Right. They are becoming unguided as they get closer because okay. There's many ways to do this. What about the tracks? What about the caterpillar, dude? The caterpillar tracks. This one can't be hit from above, at least. Guardian tracks is a big iffy situation. It's just easier to repair them. Also, you can still immobilize the tank. A tank like this can be immobilized or disabled, right? And that makes it vulnerable once that happens. I saved this video, so that's this fucking post. That's Jackson Hinkle. That's Alexander Dugin. Jackson Hinkle and the fucking guy Peterson. I forgot his full name. Peterson something. Jackson Hinkle. Biden, Putin. Okay. MAGA communism. So what is this about, dude? Who's organizing the pro-Palestinian protest at US universities? So what the fuck is this, dude? I don't understand this at all. Liberate Palestine. Stop Cop City. What? Why is Jackson Hinkle all over this? I don't understand this, Silver. Slegger is saying this is a self-propelled artillery unit. She does not participate in assaults. It throws large projectiles from a distance. Okay. Hinkle got fucked, how so? They tried to have a single student smuggle Hinkle and Haas into the Emory encampment, and the students didn't want it. Fuck yes, but Silver, what do you think about Jackson? They also AOC also tried to go in there, dude, and they said they didn't want opportunists to go in there. They are now in panic mode, trying to create a narrative where it was the Zionists infiltrating the anti-Israel movement and claim it's not dead. You know what? I'm fucking glad they're not letting these people take advantage, dude, because that's how I feel like it is, dude. And it's getting coverage regardless, right? Everyone is aware of it.
New currency crisis.
So I just don't understand this. If you're not part of the real communist group, laughing and marking both ends of the Phoenix operation, the compatible left, the CIA's compatible left, and right-tailing assets, then you are falling into a trap of Phoenix and have not actually become conscious of anything yet. Defeat the Phoenix. Why is Jackson Hinkle CIA compatible? I feel like Glenn Greenwald. Okay, he does. Glenn Greenwald is saying the same shit as Jackson, honestly. Right? Where is Turbo? She was let in. She was fucking let in, dude. Wait, what? But I still don't. Stop Cop City. What does this have to do with fucking Hinkle, dude? Who is that? Who's this? Oh, that's Smully. That's fucking Smully, dude. Peterson. Is that Tucker? Why is Hinkle everywhere, dude? Oops. Hinkle has been tied to the hip with Tulsi Gabbard, who is a commander of U.S. Army PSYOP. Focused on the war with China. He's gone to galas with conservatives and other CIA agents' assets. He tried to paint Tulsi and Trump as an anti-war when Trump just got lauded for helping pass Ukraine aid. We need Turbo here for this. Let me see if I can get Turbo. These are all different people who are assets linked to the Phoenix operations. This little sheep was created by the students to point out how dangerous he is to our movement. Because of his connections, dude. Because of the fucking connections.
Not have passed about, there's a loan component to it. This would not have passed about Donald Trump.
Yeah, but Geoeconomy Politics also said that she was part of the she's part of an army PSYOP battalion, exactly like Silver said. And Tucker is also pushing Tulsi Gabbard.
I want to thank the House Speaker and
I didn't pay attention.
Would not have passed about Donald Trump. I want to thank the House Speaker and Hakeem Jeffries working together in a bipartisan fashion to give weapons to Ukraine to fight a fight that matters to us. And President Trump has created a loan component to this package that gives us leverage down the road. So this idea that
Crediting Trump for passing Ukraine aid is next level, David. Here's one more about the Phoenix as a whole, just focusing on Hinkle but explaining why we need to be wary of Hinkle, AOC and more. I'm once again breaking down how to identify Phoenix-style operations, but more importantly how to do so in an analytic dialectic fashion. By the way, this does not include the actual protected few, folk like George W. Bush Sr. and Pompeo. They are protected few, not just agents. Okay. When we understand the Phoenix operation and how they related not only to COINTELPRO but MK Ultra Project, Mockingbird, and other various titled programs, operations and projects carried out by the US psychotic US-led empire, we can easily see that there are half a dozen ways of determining if someone is part of Phoenix Agents Assets Network. Silver, are you saying that someone like Jackson is part of MK Ultra or similar? To me, he just looks like someone who wants to have money, you know? Money and personal connections. Okay. Money, personal connections, career, previous job holdings, academic career, papers and possessions. Active politics they advocate for. All the behaviors that can be defined as corrupt, abusive, or bigoted. For someone to be an agent level at this network, they have to essentially meet all 6 levels of these criteria. Meet all of them. And be either retired or an active agent with either 3-letter agency or Western government agency like the US State Department. For someone to be an asset, how any of these criteria work. Okay. An agent versus asset. And Jackson is surely an asset at most. That is because each of these criteria can be used as blackmail against someone. They are thus compromised and in a position where they may break discipline and rank to protect themselves and reward themselves. Yes. But how do we prove that Jackson is an asset? Because if you look at this sheet I'm showing you, what's his fucking face? Jordan Peterson. I feel like he was exposed as a Zionist later. So people could have taken a picture with Jordan Peterson. That doesn't mean that. For instance, if I could interview him, I would probably do it, but that doesn't mean that I have connections with him. Do you see what I mean? Are these connections or are they incidents, events that doesn't imply connection? You will never prove it beyond a shadow of a doubt because the proof is kept in CIA black books related to their budget. The same way the CIA keeps hiding its 60 billion budget, how they hide their entire network asset. We will never know for sure. We must simply vary. No one is against Jackson supporting anti-Islam movement, but we are against him being involved as an influential figure. Why? I think they're angry at Jackson Hinkle possibly polluting what they're doing with anti-Semitism or like queerphobia or something. And they don't need these associations. I think they said that AOC was an opportunist and they didn't want her there to take advantage. Tesla in shock.
They
I'll
said,
play
"Oh."
that later. I'll play that later. As an influential figure, if he's indeed an asset, like other figures like Chomsky, or other compatible leftists like AOC, they can lead people down misinformation rabbit holes, or make them believe that voting Republicans can help people. And the biggest telltale sign with Jackson is the Trump stuff. And the other thing you said, Silver. You mentioned another guy, though. I forgot. But Tulsi Gabbard. That the Nazis fight to LGBTQ and that China hates LGBTQ, which is all false. The Nazis, they were burning books with LGBTQ, but there's also pictures of SS Nazis dressing up as trans, but that doesn't imply anything with LGBTQ. It's just a picture. China hating LGBTQ, I don't think they hate LGBTQ, but China is treating it differently than America. I don't think they have like a hate. But China is not worried about the American version of LGBTQ. Right? But there's pictures of Nazis in men's dressing, but you can't say that's LGBTQ because that's just that picture. We don't know more than that. It could be fucking anything, though. To me, it looks like Jackson. That's the biggest sign of grift you see with Jackson. The alignment with Trump. It's buying him too much and it's too beneficial for him. And there's so much criticism with Trump. And if you talk to anyone, I've talked to people here, they will give you real criticism about Trump. It's impossible not to absorb. Right? It's impossible. English anti-LGBTQ. Why do you people get mad when you went with it? What? I don't think Henkel or Haas are getting negative cover. I remember Mailwrights. He was anti-LGBTQ when he came on Twitch. But then Lesbian came into Nicky's stream. Mailwrights was just super anti-lesbian hot sauce, right? And then Nicky and Lesbian became friends. And Mailwrights had to change his rhetoric, though. You know what that happened? I sort of think this was like a terror attack or something, dude. In Karachi, Czechia. I'm gonna check where this is, dude. Okay. Very south of Russia. Very close to Georgia. Okay. Another high-profile incident has occurred near the village of Mara Arguy. Unknown assailants attacked a traffic police post, opening fire and using improvised explosive devices. According to preliminary information, one law enforcement officer was killed and 4 others were injured. A week earlier, a similar incident occurred in the region. Something is happening here, boys. Are they preparing for something?
Бромонатор только что. Там дым. Там не по-детски. Пойдем бırkayım böyle.
Yoktu yok kaç. Koymuş şarnoy pula geldi kaç.
Toxta tamam on стоял.
Ket beri ket.
I don't know. Why do we need to condemn anything with Hamas?
Toxta я ворота не закрыл.
Why do we need to condemn anything with Hamas?
Там же ОМОН стоял.
Who is leaving? Thank you for being here, Silver. Come by again, dude. We need to do the thing, Silver. We're gonna do the thing. I'm gonna have Silver and Turbo on Discord, and we're gonna debate PPG, Kairos, Maita, or something. Exactly, Sven Kiel. But it might not be a Friday, dude. I don't think it'll be a Friday. Maybe Saturday or something.
Да, и бомбили очередя.
Sibus, this is just for funsies. Nothing like serious, dude. This is between Georgia and Russia, Sibus. You're up to something, dude. What is this? Donetsk. Sibuski, what I want to do is I need to use silver to annoy people, dude. I haven't seen you write anything that is sincere ever. I think he said yes. I think it could be fun, dude. That's you, Mailwrights. With a rim. This is how you win a war, boys. This is how you win a war. Hydrogen technologies keep the environment clean and make our lives better. So the Eastern Hydrogen Cluster project is being implemented in the Sakhalin region. Hey, dude.
An Eastern Hydrogen Cluster has been established in the Sakhalin region, where there's a testing ground for experimenting with hydrogen equipment.
I have not, Alex. Dolbob. I think that's it, dude. Pistol Bowl.
In 2024, they'll be implementing large-scale hydrogen-based technologies here. This includes both small-scale and large-scale energy generation, the transport system, and housing and utilities. Startup projects include a hydrogen plant and a hydrogen-powered train. A competence center and a hydrogen test site are included too. The Ministry of Science and Higher Education, the Ministry of Industry and Trade, Sakhalin State University, MIPT, Bauman Moscow State Technical University, and Krylia Sakhalin are all participating in this project. Within this project, they are also training qualified specialists, ranging from engineers and designers to operating staff. Wishing you the best for the future.
Very cool. Very cool, boys. I don't know what this is. Alex. Telegram blocked the bots of the main intelligence directorate and the SBU of Ukraine for collecting data on the location of Russian troops. What? Soldier. Thank you for the prime. Soldier, I thought you were located in a country that did not have primes for some reason. But thank you. Telegram blocking Ukraine bots. Very relevant information, boys. The Netherlands, okay. I've been to Rotterdam. It was nice. I don't. That guy, your prime minister, your former prime minister, Mark Rutte. He might be selected for the new NATO head of NATO. I feel like there's something about him, dude. Yeah, the politics are bad. You also got that Gestapo police. I always forget the name, dude. Roman something. Romario something. Remember that guy with the head chopped off at the courthouse and shit like that? So I have this feeling that a shit ton is happening in the Netherlands. Romeos. That's right, Romeos. Geert Wilders. Is that the guy? There's a young guy who called out the... No, Geert Wilders is the Zionist dude. Fuck's sake, soldier. I don't think they voted for him, dude. I think he was selected. They say funny things, and turns out that the Raiffeisen Bank International, UniCredit, ING, Commerzbank, Deutsche Bank, Intercedes San Paolo, and OTP paid taxes in the Russian Federation in the amount of more than 800 million euros. Why did they do that? Click lang. Exactly, Shakay. Shakay, there is a guy, sanctions work didn't work. There is something that happened in the Netherlands. Which I have a video of somewhere. But I can't find that video. So I'm not gonna try, dude. Try finding it. Russia gas cut off from Japan. Yen in free fall to maintain competitiveness. BRICS block buying up insane amount of gold. Yen turning to funny money vis-a-vis gold. The new global system is taking shape before our eyes. Sibusk, we see EU flags here. That means that these protests are against the bill. This was surely from yesterday, right? They can't be that old. They cannot be that old, dude. Hey, Lynx. You know what? I think if you do what is St. Petersburg, I don't think it does the Russian version. I'm curious whether Russia. So yours said 17 degrees and mine is okay, maybe. Okay, fine, 17. Sibusk, this is from yesterday, right? I think it's from yesterday. Moving on. Germany is categorically against plans to seize the Kremlin's frozen assets for reconstruction and military support of Ukraine. Berlin fears that this will set a precedent and provoke new lawsuits against Germany for crimes of the Second World War. Germany fears that seizing rather than freezing assets could set a precedent and provoke new lawsuits. Okay. Look, Sibusk. So we got the launch systems here. Have it on tractors. That means that this is easy to scale.
이 땅을 넘보는 원수들을 두고서는 전야의 포전길만 달릴 수 없기에 보습 대신 강력한
What did he imply by that, soldier? That he was going to force the protest to stop? They appear as civilian trucks. Look at the daughter. Super cute, dude. And also kind of chuggy.
우리 민을 압박하고 공갈하며 위협해온 침략의 무리는 평화의 유린자, 행복의 파괴자들을 추도 용납치 않으리라. 쌓이고 쌓인 증오와 복수의 힘을 재운 강철의 포신 높이 들고 격사는 이 땅이 소중하기에 전체 인민이 일터를 그대로
I want to listen to Kim's wife sing. She has a song she sings.
전민 결사 한전의 무서운 힘을 만장약한 장엄한 포성으로 원수들에게 철철을 내리리라.
This is so cute, dude. She's so cute, Sibu.
우리 민방위 무력의 저 늠름한 모습, 자랑찬 위용은 세상에 유일무이한 인민의 낙원 우리 공화국을
Is that armor, dude? Residents of Odessa region temporarily occupied by the Kiev regime carry out visual monitoring of the consequences of combined missile strikes by the Russian armed forces on critical infrastructure on the port of Yuzhny.
Ми хочемо мирне небо і зберегти життя дітей, не розбиті міста й села, а щасливі посмішки людей. Це наш рідний край, тут наші батько і мати.
There was other strikes. I'll play that later. Furnace, I just need to get through all this. I think that might be the one I saw earlier. So what we got here? Zelensky announces that Ukraine is working on a security agreement with the US that will fix levels of support for the next 10 years. The 61 billion was just the beginning. So Ukraine has other security agreements with other countries, including Denmark, Germany, and other countries. I forgot which one it was. Elon Musk replying, "This is insane. This is for forever war." Right. Then we got the kids from. So apparently the kids in the protest have organized hierarchy and roles and goals.
We've been seeing all over the news all the craziness that's happening on college campuses, especially at UCLA. So I decided to come here for myself. Do you mind if I interview?
I'm not going to talk to media.
Excuse me, do you guys want to tell me what's going on here?
No, sorry. I'm not letting any media in Canada, just so you know.
Okay, we were just standing outside, just trying to. Are we allowed to ask you guys a few questions about it? A lot of us just don't feel comfortable.
I can direct you to media liaison.
We're not gonna interview with you today. Not gonna engage with people that are gonna be pushing us.
Never seen anything like this in my life.
No, agitators aren't allowed.
Talk to one of our media.
They won't speak to me. No one will speak to me.
There's a desk over there with media.
I've spoken to them. They won't speak to me.
Well, then we can try again.
I've tried, and this lady specifically is telling me I'm an agitator.
Don't engage with agitators in this.
I'm just trying to understand what you're protesting. For some reason, no one from your guys' team will let you guys speak, and I don't know why you guys can't speak to me. And like, this is so intimidating and scary for you guys to be standing here. I literally have walked around for the past 2 hours just asking peaceful questions like, what's going on here today? Why are you guys here? And no one can speak to me. And you guys are laughing. I don't understand how this is funny. I genuinely wanted to learn from you.
Just leave them.
Ended in a hug. That's actually what I hoped from this. That's my dream from all of this. That we could understand each other.
The point is they don't need her to take advantage, dude.
I think we need more barricade, guys.
Did you hear that ending, dude? She's like crying. She's like crying and leaving, right?
I think we need more barricade, guys.
We need more barricades. Nice gun. We got howitzers in Poland heading to Ukraine. Moving on. Yale students restart a campus encampment following dozens of arrests. Yes, Furnace. Doing a pro-genocide rally at a university in California. A pro-Israel guy was filmed spitting on pro-Palestine protesters. Rangers, what do you feel about these protests, dude? My impression is that a lot of these pro-Israeli protests they are paid for. I'm glad that people are standing out against the fucking genocide. Yes, I'm glad though. Silence is complicity, dude. That's right, citizen. That's right.
your master! Pussy! Pussy! Take your mask off!
I don't believe that George Soros is funding the anti-Israel protest. That would not make sense. George Soros is, after all, working together with Zionist directions, right? What do you think? What do you think about the arrest warrant? I don't think it will happen, Rangers. I don't think it will happen. I don't think the ICC will issue an arrest warrant for Netanyahu. I think they should. They did it for Putin for kidnapping children. By the way, these children were later found in Germany. Right. We got a policeman at the University of California pulls guns out at elderly protesters. Yeah. Is that a real fucking sword, dude?
A sword, bro? A sword, bro? What the fuck are you doing, pigs? Everyone, please stand back. What the fuck are you doing, pig? Please stand back.
I don't think it's the policeman's sword, dude. I don't think it is. I don't think he brought that fucking sword.
Fuck you, pig. Pulling out a gun is for the protection of who? You just turned your body cam on? You just turned it on? The fuck are you doing? You pull out a gun, you don't even have your body cam recording? Yeah, it's on now. I just saw you turn it on.
Obviously, that doesn't belong to him, dude. That belongs to him. Obviously. Hundreds of students rally at McGill University in Canada calling for divestment from the Israeli genocide. Activists say that the number of tents at the encampment has doubled in 24 hours. Combat. I played all the videos earlier proving what Hamas did and what Israel did.
So what?
Rabbi Menachem Simon, a young Jewish scholar, burns his Israeli passport at the Palestine Solidarity encampment in a city college of New York.
So one of my colleagues who picked himself up as tens of thousands of other Jews who are living under the occupation and under the urging and the advice of the chief rabbi of Palestine not to be confused with the Israeli farce, their rabbinate. But this scholar was living in Palestine, took his family, although he didn't speak English, he took his family not knowing what the future will be for him, although he had a beautiful future and an education over there. He came to the United States and worked, struggled till he was able to bring his family over here. And he finally, after a few years, he was able to get, how many years already you working on it? 11 years, he was able to get his citizenship. So he came, he just got his citizenship, and he brought his Zionist passport, and he is going to burn it right now, that everybody can see, to tell the Zionists where they're going to go.
Hey, keeper.
Because Zionism is evil, and it comes from the depth of hell, and what it is doing is satanic. And to show that, he is burning the passport of the Zionist state of Israel. See, it's an original passport. It's his passport with his picture.
Okay, dude. Okay. On average, health of an AFU soldier lasts for about 6 months. According to this Ukrainian service, there are people who are simply worn out. Okay. This is about the Scottish Prime Minister, First Minister Humza Yousaf. He's resigning supposedly from a Mossad pressure or something. Xi is said to visit France, Serbia, and Hungary. And that's very curious. This is information that was released after Blinken left. Okay. F-16s headed to Ukraine this summer will face their most dangerous battle ever. Okay. Will they even work combat? Combat the American weapons. And America as a whole has no chance against China or Russia. Ukraine's 61 billion lifeline is not enough. Who would have thought, dude? Then we got the BBC highlighting US hypocrisy to Blinken.
The problem is we've now got a catastrophic loss of life in Gaza. And you're sitting here in China where they are managing to paint the United States as hypocrites.
That's because America is vetoing any sort of possibility for ceasefire or peace at the UN.
You're asking China to stop supplying components, not weapons, components to Ukraine while you're supplying weapons to Israel.
Yeah, pathetic, dude. Pathetic.
So it allows, it erodes the credibility of the United States, not just here in China, but around the world. Don't you think?
UN needs reform, surely. As soon as the first F-16 burns out, the rest will immediately be taken to Poland, and they will say it's fake, and they were not there. Yeah, it should be dissolved. I think I like the idea of the UN, but the fact that you can veto shit and one country like America can completely steer it doesn't, just dumb. Obviously, there should be international laws, and the laws of the UN make sense, right? This is an Abrams that was destroyed, boys. And this Abrams was not only destroyed, it was disabled, not destroyed. That's a Cornet, okay? And it's going to the Abrams. It looks like it's already disabled now. But they're gonna take this Abrams and they're gonna move it to Moscow. Fucking sure, dude. I'm fucking sure. Because they want this Abrams with the Victory Day Parade. I don't want to show that other guy. So it looks like the ammo compartment caught fire. Did you see that? Discussion with who, Salman? There was that guy, I forgot. A mine? Probably. A drone. Television. Corner, the RPG, could be anyone. We wanna have, yeah, but we don't know when they were blown off. They could have been blown off. A corner could have blown off. That debate won't be today. Some other day. With Silver and some other folk. This one has taken too much damage, dude. Click luck. To use at the Victory Day Parade. I feel like that's too much damage. You look. So this is the left side. And this is the right side. So you can look at damage on both sides. Tracks are completely fucked on both sides, dude. The tower did not fly away, but the BC burned down. Where's the kebab? Addressing the World Economic Forum in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia, Palestinian leader Mahmoud Abbas. Israel has the right to complete security, and this is our duty as Palestinians. We have the right to self-determination and an independent state.
ونقول لإسرائيل الحق بالحصول على الأمن الكامل، وهذا واجبنا، ونحن كفلسطينيين حقنا بالحصول على تقرير المصير، على دولة مستقلة أسوة بباقي شعوب العالم.
I got more videos from that forum, dude. By the way, China versus Germany. You ready? I fucking love videos like this, dude. I love it.
Wo ist denn der Mittelfinger? Wo ist denn der Mittelfinger? Hier bin ich, siehst du mich? Guten Tag, Herr Mittelfinger, guten Tag, Herr Mittelfinger, jetzt ist weg im Versteck.
Combat. Now we know who will win, dude. Now we know. This guy was also amongst the protests. I don't know what it says on his shirt. He's wearing a knife, which is the issue. That guy could be combat, honestly. Looks very creepy, dude. Is he pro-Israel? A man with a knife holster attached to his belt was escorted by police and arrested during this Seder in the streets of the Gaza soldiers encampment. But I just don't know what it says, dude. He looks like a pro-Israeli because of the shirt, dude. But also, why he just looks like stands out like a sore thumb guy. I think that the education system, there's more videos like that. We've seen many videos how cool the Chinese are. There's all sorts of things they can do as kids, though. I forgot what it was. Let me see. Chinese kids versus American. It's not like American, but there are you can show the videos of what the Chinese kids are capable of. I'm not saying this is like super impressive, but compared to what the fuck we did. PBG, what do you think about Jackson Hinkle? We are seeing what Ukraine is doing with their children. They are educated in warfare and shit like that. What the Chinese are doing is educating them in collaboration. Nikki was in her earlier, saying that hates the other side. But what do you feel about Jackson Hinkle? Yeah, but PPG, what do you think about him? PPG? Cool Chinese. These kids are so organized. We saw this already, dude.
We've been seeing all over the news all the craziness that's happening on
PPG, that this is you going into the protesters with the guys in encampment or saying, oh, please follow my stream and pay me, dude. And then you leave like this. Then you leave like crying, dude.
I think we need more barricades.
More barricades to keep you out, PPG. This is the Abrams, dude. The Abrams. Yes, Keeper. China is preparing for the Olympics. Can this tank be repaired for the Victory Day parade? And I feel like this is too damaged, dude. We need to fix the fucking tracks and shit. Which should be possible, dude. I thought Ukraine stopped using the Abrams. I thought they retreated them. Hey, I. Oh, I deleted a message. That one. I can just click it. I don't know which message I deleted. I think I deleted a message. I wanted to show the link. Fucking. What is that link? Numerous. Who is that? Who's that, dude?
Ага. Еще ниже.
Еще ниже. По максимуму.
По максимуму. Все?
What are they doing?
Все. Все?
Да.
What are they doing?
Да не за что, обращайтесь.
Lowered and humiliated. They lowered a fucking horn on it. Combat. That's your dick, dude.
Ага. Еще ниже.
Be nice, Sibirus.
Максимум.
Be nice, dude. Now we were unloading captured equipment at the exhibition. Tomorrow we will unload the Abrams.
Все? Все.
This guy has no followers. How did he make a video, dude? But very cool nonetheless. Yeah, I think it was by design for here to like demoralize it. Combat. This is your kidnapping, dude. This is in Odessa. Yeah, he was getting hit in the head. He's getting hit in the head as well, dude. Remember, in other countries, if you didn't want to fight, you could go to jail, right? But in Ukraine, you get forced to the front where you die. So that's why these people are fighting for their lives, dude. By the way, this guy makes it out alive. Nice PBG. This is what you and Kai were supposed to. PBG. PBG, when I came to your chat today, I felt like you were angry at me. I don't know why, dude. Did I say something? Hey, Slavic Slav, what's up? This guy is, this guy made it, dude. He ran off. Ayatollah Ali Khamenei on X. See what is happening in the world, in Western countries, in England and France, and in the states across the US itself. People are coming out in huge numbers to chant slogans against Israel and America. You know what, PPG? These protests that you were condemning and said, oh, this will not lead to anything, just give me money instead. Don't do this protest. I'm gonna stop Gaza, give me money. Now look what these protests have done. They have expanded and escalated globally, dude. You are essentially like combat, dude. Israel has the right to defend itself. See PPG. Do you know what else is cool about this PPG? That this is sacrifice. The people here doing these protests, they are sacrificing in solidarity for Palestine. When you are going on Twitch and saying, give me money, I'm gonna donate it to something. Right? Combat is also just like, oh, give me money, I will help Israel. Right? But you can't solve anything without sacrifice, and these people are doing the right thing, dude. Solution is something that works for everyone in combat. That there is no solution in Palestine, if that's what the solution for peace, to achieve peace, is to get rid of US hegemony. Hey, Satin. Exactly, dude. He was condemning this protest, and so is combat. Combat is under the convention that there's always that the Middle East is a tinderbox, and there's always been war there, even before Israel came there, right? So you do realize that thing where there's always been wars in the Middle East. That is an American CIA talking point. So in fact, the Jews, they were living in peace under Arab rule, right? And they used to like be protected by the Arabs, and they were like prosecuted by the Christians. I know, Salman. I'm always right, dude. I'm always right. And there were Jews living in Palestine for fucking thousands of years, right? And without wars, without massacres. This is something that's happened the last hundreds of years. 100 years, not hundreds of years, but 100 years. Because of outside interference, right? Combat, can you give me a conflict in Palestine between the Jews and Palestine before 1900? You said it's always forever war. So can you give us some stats, Combat? How many conflicts in Palestine prior to all this? I mean, I showed you this, right? I showed you this data that you always leave the channel when I show you the truth. So whenever I show this, Combat's just like, oh no, I'm gonna leave. Right. So how many massacres in Palestine before 1900? Yeah, but if there's a war every 1,000 years, that doesn't count, though. These are Palestinian Jews. These are Palestinian Jews. Rehearsal begin at May 9th Victory Day. Share watch Sibruski. Oh, there's many things I forgot to share to you guys. There's many things. There was a guy asking for a link. There was someone in the chat asking for a link, dude. Who was it? I forgot to give you that. I forgot to give you that link. I'll give you the link to this. There is a track record of Palestine existing for over 3,500 years ago, and it's always been Palestine, never Israel. This is like historical proven. But the thing about Israel, that's just a theory. That has never been proven, in fact. They tried to prove that the Israels were there, but they never succeeded in doing that. That's surely Russian. That's Russian equipment. Surely. Hope is not an argument, Combat. Combat. I can prove what I say. And they've tried to prove and proven that that Israel existed like 2,000 years ago. What's it called? David something, right? David something. See, I was talking about the launcher. The launcher. I was talking about the fucking launcher. This one. Where is it? Where's the launcher, dude? There's a launcher. I look like and that's this one. Look like an air defense of sorts. This one. Cope is not an argument, Combat. That's something kids use, though. You're a grown-up person. Whoever is in solidarity with our corpses, but not our rockets, is a hypocrite. And not one of us until victory. I don't understand this message. I don't understand it, though. I don't fucking understand this. S-400 Triumph. This is the Scottish leader. That's you, Combat. Tory rebels aim to oust Sunak if party suffers big losses in local election. Fuck that, I'm moving on, dude. Jerry Seinfeld goes off full blast on left's destruction of comedy.
Nothing really affects comedy. People always need it. They need it so.
That means that those people that say they are pro-Palestine but against the resistance are not one of them. Okay, Smackers. That makes sense. Like Kairos and PPG Combat.
Badly, and they don't get it. It used to be you would go home at the end of the day, most people would go, oh, Cheers is on, oh, MASH is on, oh, Mary Tyler Moore.
I tried watching MASH, dude. With the military stuff. I was not too good at English. I was a fucking kid, dude. I watched it. I was not sure I found it funny back then, dude. Hey, Mac. Hey, Big Bad Boom. Ancient Judea did exist, but first it was under the rule of Atticus, a Greek, and then it fell under Roman rule. The Romans under Hadrian's rule dismantled ancient Israel. There is this King David something, I fucking forgot. They tried to prove it 100 times that he existed in Israel, and they can't do that. They can't find anything. They fucking dig everywhere.
Is on. All in the Family's on. You just expected there'll be some funny stuff we can watch on TV tonight. Well, guess what? Where is it? This is the result of the extreme left and PC crap and people worrying so much about offending other people.
Mm-hmm. You know what? Big Bad Boom should stream Victory Day Parade. Then we will watch him.
When you write a script and it goes into 4 or 5 different hands, committees, groups, here's our thought about this joke. Well, that's the end of your comedy. They move the gates, like in skiing. Yeah. Culture, the gates are moving. Your job is to be agile and clever enough that wherever they put the gates, I'm going to make the gate.
Yeah, it's a point. It's supposed to be dynamic and organic, dude, not artificial and made up and controlled. Yeah, but writing stuff is not evidence. So you can't just write it and not being able to prove it. Right. So that's why they might have a religion, but religion is not historical records. Religion is a belief, right? And they try to dig for that David stuff. I'm not sure if I'm saying the right name right. And they couldn't find evidence of what they were saying. So you would imagine that there was artifacts you could dig and find, right? What we can do is we can try and go through some of the Palestinian history we have, which I have saved combat. So religion is not a historical record. Yeah, archaeology has not been able to find proof or evidence. And that's what I'm referring to when I say there's no proof of this. So I have an image here. Go off to this right here. This one exists in like huge. This is called something. I forgot what it's fucking called, dude. Adam's synchronological chart. It's a 23-foot long, detailed, almost 6,000 years of history. Right? So what we got on this chart, which is something everyone recognizes, is the mentioning of Palestine. Almost 4,000 years ago. That was the question of the mentioning of Palestine. That's the earliest mentioning of Palestine. And on this chart, you don't find Israel. And if you guys want to take a look at the chart yourself, you can take a look there. Zoom in and zoom out. We got this one. King David's empire. Look, Philistia, that's Palestine. Okay. Some other stuff here. This is some stuff cast of the head from Palestine, presented by the something. So I don't know exactly what it is. Some data at least. We got some other old maps here of the Palestinian region. Not sure what this is. 1 hour long. And then we got something like this. We got something like this.
Look at these papers.
Fuck off.
Look at these papers. Government of Palestine, 9th May 1946. This one is crazy. This is a book with names of villages in Palestine that no longer exist. And this is like registers that they had. Look at these letters. These letters have been sent from New York, right? Right, 1929. And look what it's addressed to. Jerusalem, Palestine. Check out this stamp. This shows what Israel was before and what was Palestine.
I think that temple, they haven't been able to prove that that temple exists. They tried to find the temple. Now they're saying that the temple is under Al-Aqsa Mosque, but they haven't found it. They're saying it's under there, something like that. So they haven't actually found that temple, combat. They just talk about it, but they haven't found proof that it exists.
In this part, and now it's literally like a little circle here. A telegram, Palestine posts. If you want to visit the shop, this is the shop, Saraya Art. When you
so exactly like you were saying, they might be good at writing something, but that doesn't make it so. And they've been trying to prove that that temple exists for 90 years, but they haven't been able to do so. Muslims has always been there. Islam might have been. How old is Islam, Salman? Islam dates back to the 7th century, 1400 years. Okay. But the point is that that thing with the temple from King David.
Great again.
That the Israel tried to prove that what they were saying was true, so they tried to find that temple, They've never been able to succeed in proving that. Yeah, but combat. I'm not making this up. That's how it is. Israel tried to prove that the temple exists. They can't do it. Okay? I'm not making it up, dude. The temple is apparently under the ground, right? So, but they haven't been able to dig there and find it. The ancient Israel of King David was destroyed by the Assyrians and then the Babylonians. We do know that Herod the Great, an ancient Roman puppet ruler, built the second Judean temple. And we know that Romans burned it down and looted it and leveled it, rebuilt Jerusalem. Yes, okay. I'm calling Seagaft.
Hello, Skate.
Seagaft, are you sleeping?
Kinda. Yeah, I'm here.
I can call you tomorrow instead if I don't want to wake
No,
you
it
up.
doesn't matter. Don't worry. I'll be awake for some time.
I want you to tell us about, I think you were the one that told me about this, but Israel tried to prove their former rights to the territory by finding that temple, but they were never able to find that temple, correct?
That's right. They were digging under the Aqsa. Some organizations were digging under the Aqsa Mosque, and they never found a single proof that the Temple of Solomon never existed.
Has Israel been able to prove anything whatsoever that what they're
the
saying is
land.
true?
That what? About what? That the land is theirs.
Yes.
It is true. It's real that it's their land. However, well, not exactly their land. It's the Holy Land. It's the land of the faithful. So it's not just the land of the Jews or the Arabs. Anyone who's faithful can go to there. The problem with the Jews is that they have been banned from that land. They were cursed by God because of what they have done in the past. And since then, they have been kicked out of that land very, very long ago. And today they have no claim anymore to this land. But in the past, it is real that it was their land. I believe even the Torah itself says to the Jews that it's forbidden for them to have a state. I've heard a Jewish rabbi talk about this. So if you ask me, did Jews in the past live in that land? Yes, it's true. But the reason why Jews were kicked out from that land is because that God cursed them. But today they are going there again, even though God forbid them from doing this. So they are disobeying God by going there.
So Israel, what about the temple then? Do you think the temple ever existed?
I think so, but I think that the Romans completely destroyed it. I most certainly do not think that the temple is beneath the Al-Aqsa Mosque. Anyways, it makes no sense for the Jews to mess around with holy site of Muslims. Saying that the Temple of Solomon is beneath Al-Aqsa Mosque is very desperate from them.
Yeah, it's just an excuse to destroy it, surely.
Yeah, that's right. They want to destroy it. To be honest, the Al-Aqsa Mosque isn't the only thing that Israel has destroyed. Since its creation, Israel has destroyed many Palestinian villages, erased from history. Today, I bet nobody knows their name. They have mass deported Palestinians from their land and taken their settlements. And to this day, this policy still exists. And if you remember when I translated Muhammad Deef's speech, one of the things he was complaining the most about is that the Israelis are kicking out Palestinians of their homes to replace them with Israeli settlers.
That's right. That's right.
I do believe that Jews in the past lived in the Holy Land. However, no matter if they lived there, they don't have the right to go inside the house of a Palestinian and kick him out of his house. This is just oppression.
So what do you say to people who are like saying, oh, they lived there before?
So what? They lived there before, but God cursed them and forced them to leave.
I think the
If
people that were
they
living there
choose to
before was
leave,
they were also brown Jews. They were not like white Jews.
yes, of course, because the white Jews are European, from a European descent. Most of the Israelis today are from Europe or America. They're not really Middle Eastern. In fact, most of them do not have Middle Eastern culture. Most of them still have European culture. The Ukrainian Jews come with Ukrainian culture. Polish Jews come with Polish culture. And all of them have different culture.
We saw a video yesterday of the brown Jews in Israel being like experiencing racism from the white Israelis. They called them something. I forgot what they were calling them, dude. But they were calling them some weird ass shit, dude. Like I don't know. They were calling them all sorts of shit and experiencing all sorts of racism from the white Israelis.
Well, of course, the brown Jews are probably the real type of Jews who have ancestry. Their ancestry is from the Middle East. However, most European Jews have like no Middle Eastern ancestry. And so their ancestors have never been in the Middle East. And so it's not their land.
Of course not, because it being their land is a matter of rights, and rights is something you use in the context of legal framework, and that's not religion. That's the law, right? They've never been. They always like breaking the law by taking this territory by force, right? And taking territory by conquest is illegal.
And not only by force, also by deception. Most in the past, when Jews fled from the genocide that was inflicted upon them on World War II, most Palestinians welcomed Jews to Palestine. They wanted to live with them in peace. In fact, this is what our religion teaches us. Our religion as Muslim tells us to welcome and protect Jews and Christians. So they have abused of this, went inside Palestine, and then they betrayed the Palestinians who welcomed them and created Israel out of deception. Israel was created out of deception.
That's also the motto of Mossad, is that by deception we shall create war and convince people from Canada that we are in the right.
Well, I don't really want to talk too much about deception and Jews. I think it's a sensitive topic for Twitch. But for us as Muslims, our religion prepares us for a time where it will be very hard to tell the difference between what is real, what is true, and what is wrong, and the time where people will try to deceive you.
For how long was there peace in Palestine?
For how long was there peace in Palestine? What do you mean?
Before the Israelis came to Palestine and the conflict broke out, So there was peace under Arab rule before then, right? So there was Jews living there, and they were welcomed by the Arabs, and they were living in peace.
The Jews who came from Europe are European, but the Arabs still welcome them. However, the Jews who have been living there in Palestine for a long time are have been. I'm sorry, I mean that there are Jews who have been living in Palestine for a long time, and every time I listen to these type of Jews, they are very critical of the European Jews. They call them heretics and call them that they don't know what is really Judaism. Well, I'm not an expert in Judaism, and the biggest problem with this religion is that there is no way to learn it. Because, well, usually people are very welcoming and always want others to teach you their religion. Sorry, not their religion, their culture and their language. For example, if you go to Algeria, people would like to teach you Arabic or Algerian. If you go to France, people who would teach you French. Plus, we have many online application that helps you learn languages. There are languages to learn, applications to learn languages such as English, French, German, etc. But there is literally nowhere to learn Hebrew. I've tried so hard to find where to learn this language. It's just impossible. The only way to learn this language is probably for a Jew to teach you this language, but Jews are usually do not want you to speak their language. They want only themselves to be able to speak this language. Plus, the Torah is only written in Hebrew. There is no translation of the Torah in other languages as far as I'm aware of. There is no Torah in English or French or Arabic. Although the Quran, there is a version of the Quran for every language. And the Bible, I'm pretty sure the Bible also has translation to every language.
People are saying that
Jews do not want us to learn their religion.
People are repeating CIA and Mossad lies about how the Arab countries attacked Israel in 1948.
1948. The Arab countries attacked Israel in 1948. How? It's Israel who invaded. They came with the American help and went to Palestine.
They also used the Delta Force, not only the Americans, but also the British.
Yes, of course. What do you mean it's Israel who was attacked? It's Israel who went to war to be created and to become a state.
Yeah, I'm not sure what Combat is saying. So Combat is saying that Israel did nothing wrong and they were attacked, but Israel didn't even exist. So it's kind of weird, dude.
Back then.
They were created by force. The British didn't own the land, Combat. They illegally had the land. They didn't own it. So we better let's stick to one point, Combat, instead of moving on to something else. So they stole it, but that's not when you own land, that's a matter of legal framework, right? So having a right to something is a matter of legal framework. So you can't steal something and say now you own it, right? That's illegal. So that's why we have to adhere to international law and rationale when we talk about this, right? Yeah, but if you can't if you conquer land, then you don't legally own it. And so that's not the law is that you can't conquer a land by conquest and legally own it. That's not possible. So it's still illegal. It's an illegal project, and they didn't have the right to give it to someone else. That's still illegal. And if we're talking about legality, when you say own, that's a legal framework, right? Because ownership is a matter of legality, right? I'm just going to show a video here. Shigaf, 2 seconds. I'm showing a video.
Ils montent. Ils savent qu'ils montent. Ils montent. Ils savent qu'ils montent. Nous savons qu'ils montent. Ils savent que nous savons qu'ils mentent et pourtant ils continuent à mentir.
Good night, Salman. Hey, Artyom. Sigaf, I was just showing a video about how the war in 48 started, and there is nothing to invade, so it's just weird. Yeah, Combat, you're repeating Israeli and Mossad lies, dude. Go ahead, Sigaf.
So the war in 48, they came by sea. They were transported by the American and British ships.
Yep. It's not like
And
this. So
they also-
what do you mean? So Combat was saying that Syria and Jordan attacked Israel. How is that possible, dude? Combat. Yeah, how is it possible, Combat?
They weren't there before. It's Israel who attacked. How does he think that Israel came to be? Does he think Israel just teleported out of nowhere into Palestine? They must have come from somewhere, right?
Israel was born by the death of Palestinians, and they cannot exist without it. Combat, you're repeating pro-Israeli lies, Zionist propaganda. Why, Artyom, are you having a bad day? They always say they were attacked, Combat, just like they say they were attacked on October 7th. But what happened on October 6th is the worst day for Palestinian children. So we know exactly how they worked. They stole it. Britain stole the land. A war of conquest is not a legal right to get it. War of conquest doesn't, in international law, it's not the legal right.
The Zionists were already planning to take over Palestine way before 1945, when Palestine was under control of the Ottoman Empire. There was this man, the last caliph, I think Abdul Hamid or Abdul Masih, something like this. Zionists contacted him, told him that they want to buy Palestine, and in exchange, they would give him an insane amount of money. This caliph, well, as a Muslim, I don't really agree with him being a caliph, but that's a topic for another time. Anyways, this caliph refused the Zionist proposal, and guess what? A few years later, there was a revolution in Turkey by the Young Turks, and they overthrew this caliph and killed him. And then a few years later, Britain stole Palestine from the Ottomans. Do you know about this, kid?
No. Let me just read some from the chat. So, Combat is saying that there was a war. I'm not sure if there was a war in Palestine, but regardless if there was a war in Palestine, the Ottomans were occupying Palestine. So even if you won the war, it doesn't mean that you get to legally take the territory. Like we say, a war of conquest doesn't give you the legal right for the territory. You're just liberating the area for the original inhabitants, right?
Well,
Britain just took it over without a fight. So I don't think there was any war in Palestine, Combat. So in the Balfour Declaration was something that was issued without the context of a fight or a war, right? When the Ottoman Empire was defeated, the region should have been handed back to the people who lived there, but instead the British gave it. That's right. That's right, Thomas. That's right, dude. Nazi Germany won war, so they were legally occupying territory. Yeah, so obviously the Soviet Union, yeah, obviously. Also, under the current partition plan, the Israelis are not even respecting those strong borders. That's right. That's right, dude. The conquerors own the land. No, they don't. No, they don't. You're an occupying force. Then you're not. You can't own land by conquest. You're talking about ownership again. That's in the context of legal framework. It wasn't British land to begin with. It was always called Palestine, says Simba. It was never called Israel. I think it was called Israel at some point, wasn't it, Chica? But I'm not sure if it was called Israel or if Palestine had like something in it that was called Israel. World War I was not in Palestine.
Yes, World War I happened in Palestine between the British and the Ottomans. That's how the Britain got in control of Palestine.
Oh.
But the thing, we need to know what is the difference between territory controlled by a government and ethnic cleansing. When the Ottomans were controlled Palestine, it was the Ottomans who were in power. It was the Ottomans who were in control. The Ottomans forced the Arab population to pay taxes, and these taxes go to Ankara. And when the British were in rule, the Arabs were paying taxes, and the taxes went to London. However, when Israel was created, it's a different type of occupation. They weren't forcing the Arabs to pay taxes. They just go into the lands of the Arab and simply kick them out or exterminate them. It's two different things, forcing people, subjugating them to tax, and an extermination of people.
Yeah, the Balfour Declaration. They didn't win that land combat. Oh, you can't win land of conquest, dude. In the best case, Britain liberated the land, but like Tom said, they should have gone back to its owners. An owner is the legal owner of the land. You can't just take it by force. If you talk about ownership, that's in the context of a legal framework, right? They didn't win it. There was no referendum in these lands to join Britain. There was no democratic way for it to be British. No one is saying that the Allies never won World War I. We are saying that you can't own land by conquest. I've said this 1,000 times. You can't legally gain land by conquest. This is the last time I'm saying it. No, you can't. So you might have that opinion, but opinion doesn't matter. You can look at international law. And when you say ownership, it's in the context of law. It's not in the context of your opinion. Your opinion is irrelevant, and so is mine.
So basically, as far as I understand it, he's saying if you go to war and defeat a nation, then you can just kick out all of the people living there and take that land for your own. Is that what he's saying?
Combat is saying that he doesn't care about the law. But if you don't care about the law, Combat, then don't use the word ownership. That's conflicting. Combat, just say that Israel is taking the land by force. That they don't have the right to it. Right is the context of legality. And so is ownership. That's why you're wrong, Combat. Occupation of conquest of land means you stole it. That's right. That's right. And I've been saying that for fucking 20 minutes now. And whenever you you keep saying that they own it. They don't. Britain didn't have the right to it. Right is also in the context of legality.
There is a difference between owning and occupying. Britain was occupying Palestine, but the Palestinians own the land. It's different.
Yes, it is. Hey, Ding Dang, though, you're way too late, dude. I was actually thinking about where the fuck you were, dude.
Owning the land means being a farmer and you have 2 square kilometers of land and you farm there. Occupying means having an army or military presence and going inside cities and forcing people to pay taxes.
Who created this? The Palestinians. Palestine has existed for over 3,000 years. I showed you that earlier. Palestine has existed for 3,000 years. For a long time, Palestine has existed. 3,500 years, exactly. Showed you that earlier. This is on that fucking chart, dude. Palestine. Why is that Artyom? Texas. Shigaf, try to say Texas.
Taxes.
Yeah.
Did I say it wrong?
No.
I'm sorry if I pronounced something wrong.
No.
My English is not very good.
Your English is fine. I don't feel like combat. I feel like the idea is that your opinion is that it belongs to Israel, but when you use word as right and ownership and owns, then that's beyond opinion, and that's about legal framework. And like we concluded, you can't take land by conquest. The British were an occupation force, and so was the Ottomans. And the legal rightful owner of it was the Palestinians, those who were there before, and they have been forcefully, illegally being kicked out. So you are conflating legality with events, and you're using the excuse that because borders moved in the past in this way, so can it be done now. But that doesn't change the fact that we have legal frameworks which we are adhering to. And there might have been broken legal frameworks in the past. Kings might have broken legal frameworks in the past, but so be it. Denmark is Denmark and Norway is Norway. Denmark used to own part of Sweden and Norway, but they don't anymore. But if we can't have a shared framework which is the law, then there's no point, because then it just becomes an opinion, and your opinion might vary and tomorrow it might change. So that's why when we have a conversation, it's about the definition of words and a legal framework. So when you use the words rights and ownership, that's in the context of legal frameworks, and I can't say it more clearer than that. I know that the first mentioning of Palestine, the word Palestine, is over 3,500 years ago. Combat was asking Shigaf, so when did the Palestine people start being called Palestine?
I'm not sure. I think it's the Romans who named it Palestine.
I have a chart here, and the chart is called, I showed that on Wiki. This one, Combat.
We Muslims don't really call it Palestine. We call it Bilad al-Sham.
This is a chart on Wiki that dates Palestine back 3,500 years.
I think maybe more like 2000, time of the Romans. But the sons of Israel have been there before the Romans. I never deny that it's the land of real Middle Eastern Jews. However, it was so long ago, and then they were all kicked out because of their sins. And when they were kicked out, they lost all claims to that land. In the past, they were living there, however, they were all forced to leave. However, when people started living there and built houses, that doesn't give the right of the Jews to go there and kick out them from their homes. Land is not owned by a specific group of people or a country. God has created land for all humans. All humans have a right to land. If you're using a land, it's yours. Nobody has the right to come to your house and kick you out just because somebody promised him this.
There was Jews living in Palestine before the existence of Israel. Well, why are you saying that the European Jews have the right to create the state of Israel on behalf of expelling the Palestinians illegally?
I was agreeing, by the way, that Middle Eastern Jews, it is the land of Middle Eastern Jews. However, European Jews have no claim to that land. Their ancestry doesn't even go back to Bilad Shem. They have no origins from their land, from that land. They have never lived there. It is like me, who have no ancestry to America. I would just go there and tell you, this is my land. I will conquer it. Will that be right? No, I'm not from there.
Of course not. These are not the rightful Jews either. Of course not. So I don't get the
Most
people
of
who
them are
caught up in that.
Most of them are atheists. They believe in evolution and other heretical stuff.
And another point is that there were Jews there before the creation of Israel.
And those were living totally in peace.
What is the complaint exactly, Combat? So when were Palestinians self-described as Palestinians, Arabs as Palestinians?
This is a difficult one to answer.
Are you gonna say why you're asking the question, Combat?
I remember when you were talking about Arabs, me and Fuad, and he was saying that the Gulf Arabs called them Roman remnants. That's so rude from them to call them that way. But honestly, I do not know what Palestinians are.
Yeah, but Combat, the people living there, were owning the land legally, right? They were called Palestinians when the land was first called Palestine. That's over 3,000 years ago, right? That's 3,500 years ago. So in Denmark, the people there are called Danes. Hey AG, how are you doing? How is Serbia? So if they were called Palestinians 3,500 years ago when the land was called Palestine, then I don't know. I don't get Combat. What is the gotcha you're trying to reach here? So Combat, I don't feel like you can come up with a point, no matter if it's called Palestine or called this, that, and the other, or if there was someone there before, because we need to adhere to the law. So how are you gonna? There's no excuse to break the law, Combat. You can't come up with an excuse for Israel to expel the Palestinians legally. That's what you need to do.
Skate, how about we invite Combat Engineer and we talk to him?
Try to go to Discord, Combat. So we need to join the voice channel then.
And be right back, 5 minutes.
Okay. I need to get to bed as well. I want to get to bed as quick as possible. There was a time when Sweden owned Denmark and the other way around. That's why that's here. Different people, different times. Tom's was asking when were they conquered. Combat. That I don't see how you can come up with a way to justify breaking the law and illegally expelling the Palestinians. That is the issue. That there's no way where this can be achieved. So no matter if that happened in the past or 2,000 years ago, then this like that. So I don't. You say that they're in a forever war, okay? But Israel is still breaking the law and illegally expelling the Palestinians. So none of these arguments truly really matter. They don't matter. What you're saying there doesn't matter either. Yeah, what were they called before that? But I don't feel like it matters, combat. You can't come up with an excuse to break the law and expel the Palestinians and take over their homes and their properties. I don't see how this is relevant. But we can still talk about it, but it's just not relevant. What were they called before Greece did that? So there's no excuse that allows Israel to break the law and expel the Palestinians. That doesn't exist. And it doesn't matter that Palestine wasn't called Palestine or something else. It doesn't matter. Combat knows history, so he's gonna tell us, Toms.
Hello, I'm back.
Welcome back, Sigurd.
Where is combat?
No, Tom's asked you something. You said that they were called Palestine in the 1900s. And Tom's asked you what were they called before? That's where we at.
Palestine?
So the combat is saying that Greece named the people of Palestine Palestinians in the 1900s, even though the name Palestine was created 3,500 years ago, at least, right? And then he's saying they were just called Arabs before. Yeah, they were native to Palestine, therefore they are Palestinians.
I don't believe that Palestinians are Arabs, honestly.
No, I think he's just trying to go to somewhere that doesn't even matter. So I'm not sure what you're trying to do. So sometimes we have people in Copenhagen that we call Copenhageners, right? I'm also a Jyde, which is from the place where I live. It's normal, dude. I have two names. I'm a Dane and I'm a Jyde. Because I come from that territory. That's quite normal. But I don't get the point still. It's way too late. I need to get to bed as well.
I started watching the stream, by the way. Combat is saying, I don't want to jump on. You are mixing up the story bad. Just come voice and explain us what's your story. Honestly, there's nothing to get mad about.
Yes, there is. Maybe it's just like how Native Americans were called Indians instead of Americans. The example of Kaliningrad does not fit here. The Germans had somewhere to go when they were evicted. You did that, Artyom. The coolest name that exists in Russia, Shigavt, is Artyom.
Artyom? We have many stories about the Jews and Israel in the Quran. I remember one from Surah Al-Ma'idah, where the Jews were fleeing oppression from the pharaohs in Egypt, and God told them to go, that God promised them a land east of Egypt, and he told them that you have to fight for this land. And they basically refused. So God banned them from this land for like 5 years or something. And then later on they would go and live there. But then they would be banned again for sinning.
Is there other stories?
I don't really know much. But, you know, historically, the Jews do not like to fight wars. And to this day, they're not really fighting wars. They just find low legitimacy Jews, such as Ethiopians, who they don't care about. And they send them to the IDF and tell them to fight for them. If you look at the IDF today, they're all very low quality Jews. Ethiopians, Europeans, etc.
But it doesn't. So the Ottomans were the one occupying, and they were occupying the Palestinians, and they weren't just occupying Arabs. So Arabs is what we call them. So if I live in Denmark, right? What am I called if I'm not a Dane, right? Am I called a white person? Is it no one defined the people in Denmark as like Aryans or white folks? That's not true. I was a Dane. I was always a Dane. The people of Denmark. So this is natural. The people of Palestine didn't require to be explicitly called out of being Palestinians. That's natural. And what you're referring to, Scandinavian is a collection of the whole thing, right? And that's something also reason. But I was a Dane. I'm Scandinavian. I'm a Jude because I live in that area. Same with the Palestinians. I'm not a white folk. That's some dumb stuff. And also, it doesn't matter. Even if they were called Arabs, it doesn't give Israel the right to break the law. So I don't see this talking point we're getting caught up on, because so I'm called Scandinavian because the area is called Scandinavia. The area there is not called Arab, right? It's not called Arab land. It's called Palestine. Area of Palestine, the people of Palestine. I'm called a Scandinavian. I'm called a Dane and a Jude because I've lived in those areas, right?
These are just denominations. They're only names. They're not real facts. If someone tells you he's Arab, it's not a proof that he's Arab. In order to know really that he is Arab, you need to check his ancestry. Only the ancestry can prove whether he's Arab or not. There are many people who believe that they are Arab when they're actually not. In fact, me, when I was young, I used to think I was Arab. But when I grown up, I understood that I don't come from an Arab family. So, therefore, I'm not Arab.
The Ottoman Empire was just an occupation force. It's nothing to do with the rightful owner of the land. But that thing about where we're getting caught up in what the name is and what the Palestinians are is a red herring, because none of these things justifies Israel being above the law. none of that justifies Israel being above the law. So none of these arguments is like this holy thing for Israel, where they can get a freebie to break the law and evict millions of Palestinians. So I don't get why this is so important for you, Kumba. Remember, we're talking about the law, right? I need to get to bed, Shigaf. I'm going to bed now, man. It's way too late.
Don't worry, it's also very late for me. I hope I had answered some of your questions. Unfortunately, I don't know much about this subject. I'm not a Palestinian, but I am sure and certain that the Palestinians of like Gaza and Palestinians of the West Bank are not the same. But that doesn't mean that Israel has more claim to that land or anything, or them being called the Palestinians has like gives them like claim to the land. It's for other reasons that they have claim to the land. They were there before, they built homes, and then some occupying force came out of Europe and kicked them out of their homes. The Palestinians welcomed the Jews from Europe fleeing persecutions. The Palestinians wanted the Jews to live with them in peace, but the Jews didn't want this. The Jews wanted to destroy the idea of Arabs being in control of their lands and wanted the Jews to be in control, therefore creating Israel.
So I don't feel like these arguments about when was the Palestinians called Palestine, so that has nothing to do with the evicting the Palestinians illegally. So it's so annoying, I feel like, to discuss about that. I don't feel like it makes any sense.
I think it's very simple. Imagine yourself, you have a house, you're living a peaceful life, and then someday someone comes knocking to your house, telling you that his ancestors were there 3,000 years ago and now you need to leave, and it's his house. Would it actually be right or just that he would kick you out of your house that you've taken so many years to build? It's not right. This is oppression. Being oppressed doesn't give you the right to oppress others. Jews have this argument that they have been oppressed in history. I agree with them. Jews have been oppressed in history, but that gives them no right to oppress others. It's such a dumb argument. If you're oppressed, that doesn't mean you can go and oppress. In fact, if you're oppressed, you should show solidarity with other oppressed people.
But I bet the people that were oppressed, they're not even those who are using that as an excuse, dude. I feel like they're taking advantage of the Jewish oppression, pretending like they're real Jews while they're not. But I need to go to bed. Everyone, good night. It's getting too late. See you after. Thank you so much. I'll call you again tomorrow.
You're welcome, Scott. Okay, good night.
Good night. Everyone, thank you for being here. I'm gonna wait peace-fire now. Okay, I don't know who he is. But he's been here before. So let's try it out, dude. Let's try it out. I'm waiting now. I wanna get to bed. See you tomorrow.